نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع. فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه، إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع. وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع، فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي. إن العطاء إمداده متنوع، إن العطاء إمداده متنوع. يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع. وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا، وكم في الركب من متضلع. حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا. وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع، أصل الجود من ذا المنبع. يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر، قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي. يا رب يا لي ظن جميل وافر، قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك، كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. يا يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع. فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه، إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع. وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع، فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي. إن العطاء إمداده متنوع، إن العطاء إمداده متنوع. يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع. وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا، وكم في الركب من متضلع. حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا. وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع، أصل الجود من ذا المنبع. يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر، قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي. يا رب يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر، قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك، كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. يا يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا وكم في الركب من متضلع حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع أصل الجود من ذا المنبع يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي يا رب يا لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي كل الذي يرجون فضلك كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي.
All right. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. And we are live. All right, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Yeah, buddy. We did it. It's the second live stream in 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. The YouTube ban is lifted for now, alhamdulillah. Still striked, so we have to be very, very careful with what we say and with what we upload over here. I'm muted. Is that so? I don't think so. It looks good on my end. Let me know if the sound is working well, and then we continue from here. Let me know in the chat. Not muted. Okay. We have trolls in the chat. Thank you very much for that, guys. I fell for it. Anyway, sound is good, yeah? Sweet. Okay, let's go from here. As I was saying, we still have to be very, very careful now, the upcoming weeks. Matter of fact, don't let me lie now, but I think it's going to be at least 2 months or so until the strikes rather, are lifted again. And then we can speak a little bit more openly. As open as we can on YouTube. Yeah. Anyways, welcome back. Today we're going to do a Let's Watch YouTube again. Please don't torture me, guys, with videos that are unbearable. Last stream was kind of tough, to be totally honest. It wasn't easy. So please, fun videos. I already have a few lined up, just in case. And yeah, send anything through that you want me to react to. And then inshallah we can watch it. It doesn't necessarily need to be a YouTube video. It can be on X, it can be on Instagram. It can be articles that you want to read, etc, etc. So anything goes. It doesn't have to be a YouTube video per se. Okay, let's power up. Sweet. Where do I send? Just in the chat. So guys, if you want to support this channel, very easy, send it through via Super Chat. That is the best way. On the one hand, you're supporting the channel. On the other hand, I will see your video 100%. Other than that, just send it through in the chat. And then I will see if I will react to it or not. If you send it through via Super Chat, the rules of the game are that I have to react to it. Right? So if you send it through via Super Chat, I will have to react to it. If you send it in the chat, I will decide if I will react to it or not. Have you seen that failed Quran burning attempt in Denmark? No, haven't. Send it through. We can check it out. I have a video about the paganism comeback in Europe. Yeah, that would be interesting for sure. Why not? Let's have a look. That sounds good actually, why not? It's quite interesting. Europe is in a very confused state. I understand it, because Europe, once they're kind of returning to, let's say, somewhat of strength, because at the moment the Europeans, the white race in general, they're very cucked. They're extremely cucked. Totally liberalized. The baby boomers did their damage, and now they simply don't know where they're standing anymore. And so some are returning to a more traditional lifestyle. They're becoming conservatives, others are becoming neo-nationalists. They don't really know what to do. Again, others, they become Christian again. They want to cling on to tradition and they think that Christianity is very based. Then they recognize that it's not so based after all, and therefore they become Catholics or Orthodox. Orthodox is as far as it goes, and then they think, wow, now we are truly based over here. There is nothing stronger than orthodoxy. But in the end, it is simply a Roman state religion, and I guess that's what they want to appeal to the Roman Empire. They want to revive that. And it's Greek mythology. That's just what it is. No matter how you look at Christianity, you cannot not see that it is based on Greek mythology. And well, once you've seen that, you kind of cannot unsee it, you know, and so therefore some others in Europe again realize, well, that's Greek mythology. Or they will claim, well, that's a Jewish religion, it's a Middle Eastern religion, which is not far off. And then they're going to decide, you know what, we have to get back to the real roots of Europe. And the real roots of Europe, well, this is paganism, the nature religions, the religions of the north, etc. And that's what they get back to. So it's a very confused state. Of course, I will claim, and so will my viewers here, that the solution for Europe will be Islam, obviously. Because there is nothing purer and nothing clearer than the worship of one God alone. As long as you're prioritizing different gods, men, or skin worship, national identity, etc., you will always be in lack. There will always be a loss to your identity. So it only goes so far. And this is why many neo-nationalists, they're claiming, well, we are the Aryans and this is the true race, the smartest race, the superior race and whatnot. But matter of fact, everybody intuitively knows, of course, that you're not taking your race with you, right? And therefore, it only goes so far. So it's not a transcendent ideology. It's something that you can, well, use here temporarily, but when you die, you're not taking your body with you. So therefore, how far does this ideology go? And therefore, only within Islam, we have an all-encompassing ideology. So when it comes down to the theology itself, when it comes down to the religious aspect, there's nothing better than Islam, of course, because Islam is the pure worship of one God, monotheism. So you don't have that anywhere else. You don't have that pure monotheism in any other religion. And I truly believe that, yeah, this is where, be it Christians, be it anybody, they feel this lack, they feel this loss. They understand it intuitively that their religion is lacking. You cannot tell me that any Christian truly wants to worship Jesus as a man, and that is somehow super based, a crucified man that is your God. It's very weak in and of itself. So therefore, when it comes down to Europeans, I'm not saying that Europeans are weak. I'm from Europe myself. That's not the argument. I'm saying that the European races are actually better than Christianity. And it's not only my claim. Historically speaking, the biggest accomplishments of Europeans was under paganism rather than under Christianity. That's just a fact. So the Roman Empire, for the longest time, the biggest expansion happened under paganism, right? So therefore, I wouldn't credit Christianity for that whatsoever. And again, this is why they want to go back to paganism, and they're attributing it to it. But I wouldn't say that they will find any success in paganism. Paganism is a failed project. It has been around, now it's over, now it's time for the last update. But yeah, they simply don't want to. They're still fighting the last update. They were saying, why are we worshipping a Jewish God in the comments? Yeah, and I agree. I agree. So first and foremost, the Old Testament, that is an intrinsic part of Christianity, of course, is based on Yahweh, and Yahweh is the God of Israel. So therefore, you cannot remove that from your theology. Their God, Yahweh, that later in their development then becomes the Trinity, and the Trinity encompasses the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But all of that, supposedly, according to Christians, is Yahweh. But Yahweh in the Old Testament speaks about Him being the God of Israel. So if you say they're worshipping Yahweh, then they're worshipping a Jewish God. But that being said, even if they say they're not worshipping Yahweh, but they're worshipping Christ, they're worshipping Jesus, then you're worshipping, even worse, a Jewish man. So no matter how you do it, again, you're in loss. Yeah, they really do. I mean, for anybody that is Muslim or anybody that understands Islam, they get that Islam is the last update. That's just what it is. So therefore, if you want to stay on version 0.1 build, then go for it. What should we do? Hill says, I went to Bela Pais monastery today in Cyprus. Very nice Christian architecture, I have to admit. Yeah, absolutely, man. If you look at Byzantine structures, they're just magnificent. There's nothing wrong to say about it. It's beautiful. I recited Surah Maryam out loud and singing when I was wandering around, Lord. Yeah, inshallah, it will do something. Nah, but of course, there is nothing wrong with the architecture of certain groups of people that happen to be Christian. In the Quran, we read as well that we are supposed to go out in the world, and as nations we can get to know each other, right? So if you go to China, for example, many old masjids, really old masjids, I think 700, 800 years old, they have this Chinese look to them. And that is absolutely beautiful. I don't think that Allah wanted from us to all copy and paste the same style. So if you have a specific tradition in terms of architecture, and then the country becomes Muslim or you have a minority even of Muslims, why not build the mosques, the masjids, in that particular fashion? It would blend in homogeneously. It would be much more beautiful, honestly, an expression of the people. Islam is not here to destroy your culture, just to purify it and remove everything sinful. That's what it's there for. So therefore, when it comes down to, let's say, Germany especially, you look at the German cathedrals, miracles, work of arts, obviously. And so therefore, that style of cathedral, you can build masjids like that as well. There's nothing wrong with it. If you look in Poland, for example, actually, let me see if I can pull this up. I know that the Tatars, they have a pretty big Muslim community in Poland. And when you look at their mosques, they look more like churches than mosques. Poland mosques. Tatar. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. Here it is. I hope you can see this. 1 second. Here we go. 1 second, I'm going to pull it up. Yes, here we are. So those are masjids, believe it or not. Those are masjids in Poland, very old ones as well. I can't really tell how old they are indeed, but I know that the Tatars have been in Poland for many hundreds of years. And therefore, the masjids have a Polish style to them. And there's nothing wrong with this. As long as you don't have any idolatry in there, it's completely fine. It blends in. It respects the traditions. Yeah. I absolutely salute this. I find it beautiful. So when it comes down here to Thailand as well, oftentimes I'm seeing certain modern mosques being built, and I understand because they're being funded from, I think, Malaysia sometimes and whatnot. But it would be much more beautiful, again, if the masjids would be built in a Thai style. Again, minus the idolatry, but to maintain that beauty of their traditions and their culture. So, for example, if Germany were to become Muslim, you wouldn't expect them now to simply eat shawarma and kebabs only, even though they're already eating a lot of that. But you would expect the German food, be it the sausages, be it the sauerkraut, etc., to simply make halal versions of it. That's it. And we already have that, right? But they could still hold on to their traditional cuisines. That's what Germans like to eat. Instead of making the schnitzel out of pork, you can make it out of chicken or lamb or whatever. And they already do, as I stated. So therefore, yeah, I'm pro this. And I believe that this would be the way to go for Europe as well. Because right now, Europeans, they're associating Islam with an invasion, with third worlders taking over their country. And they cannot really identify with Islam. But if you would present it in such a way, it would be much more beautiful. Simply let them know this is about monotheism, not about becoming Arab. Anyways, we have 2 super chats, 1 second, by Suf Bukhati. Thank you very much, brother. 11 euros. Watches this personally very interesting video as an option, 15 minutes. Break free from bad habits and mental illness. This way I must watch from Digital Reminders by Bilal Assad. Okay, sure. Let's pull it up. 1 second. Then this will be the first video we watch. I can't copy paste here. 1 sec. Yeah, anyways, you get my point, man. My point is to maintain certain traditions in countries and to not change the country so radically, but rather adapt to what they already got, but Islamify. I believe that this would be the way forward. I would wish that for Europe, for sure. Okay. Break free from bad habits. Bilal Assad. Here we go. Okay. On that note, speaking about bad habits, inshallah, even this week, I'm not too sure how far Angel has come. Angel from the 3 Muslims, or formerly 3 Muslims. I don't know if they're still running the channel, or if they're going to revive it again. But we're going to do a live stream together and dive into the community that he has built, he with his team. It's about one of the worst habits, if not the worst habit. It's about corn addiction and what goes with it, right? I think I can say that on YouTube. So, masturbation. Many brothers are addicted to that. It's quite fascinating. I didn't know that it was such a great issue. Honestly, I really didn't know. For me personally, I never really struggled with it. But, that being said, again, without exposing my sins too much, but you can do the math, I never struggled with pornography because I was busy elsewhere. But when it comes down to many brothers, they want to stay pious, they don't want to commit zina, and they see it as a lesser evil, which, yeah, on paper it might be, but they're absolutely addicted to that filth. It's crazy. And I would make the statement that there's really nothing worse than it. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not giving you an Islamic ruling now. I'm not giving you a fatwa. But hear me out. When it comes down to fornication, we all know it's wrong. Done deal. But when it comes down to masturbation, because people really use it as a coping mechanism and they simply tell themselves, well, you can do that. I didn't really commit zina here. But what are you really doing, man? First and foremost, this is real. It is real. You're watching people on camera that did that act. So when it comes down to zina, this is zina pro max. They did it, they committed it, they filmed the whole thing, and now you're watching them, right? So you're promoting it and you're supporting it with your clicks. That's first and foremost. And on that note, I heard this as well with many brothers and sisters as well, that sometimes in their marriage, they're not having so much sex, and then, well, the woman and the man, in their free spare time, they're watching those movies. And I will make the claim that is cheating. Bro, that is cheating. Just imagine your wife watching other men's genitals, right? That's what she does if she watches that stuff. So, yeah, your wife watching other naked men. And now you're going to tell me that this is not cheating, right? It's craziness. Of course it's cheating in a way. Anyways, be that as it may, those things are absolutely atrocious, and it's running rampant apparently with many pious brothers that, yeah, want to maintain their virginity until marriage. That's a huge problem. And for that, Angel has created a community which has a step-by-step system. And honestly, I'm going to tell you one more thing about Angel. This was way before he became a Muslim. This is 8 years ago or so. 8 years ago, I was on YouTube already, and I was in the vegan niche. And Angel was experimenting with veganism as well. I think he was experimenting with psychedelics too, definitely meditation, breath work, the whole new agey thing. And then all of a sudden, his channel started becoming very big for NoFap. And as I stated, I wasn't that interested in it, to be completely transparent, but it would always pop up on my channel because I saw a couple of videos of his because of the veganism topic. And then it would pop up and pop up and pop up. This guy has been in that field for over 8 years, maybe 10 years. And he has a track record of being successful and getting brothers off it successfully. So this is not just some sort of gimmick, yeah, join in, blah, blah, pay the price. It definitely works. I would go so far, and probably he wouldn't like me to hype him that much up, but I would go so far that he developed a system similar to Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, where they really have this, I think, 10-step system to get people off alcohol. He has proven it successfully over and over again that he can get brothers off that habit completely. Honestly, think about it, man. When you're watching, first and foremost, as I stated already, those people that really did it, imagine what kind of position you yourself allow yourself into. You become a voyeur, a pervert, basically. Back in the day when I was a kid, we knew about perverts. They would take those glasses and stare into other people's bedrooms, right, to see something, and then pleasure themselves. Super creepy stuff. And that's basically what everybody's doing nowadays when they're watching those movies. That's really what it is. And your brain doesn't know the difference. If you're staring through a window watching other people having sex, or if you stare through your Black Mirror, it's the same thing for your brain. So your brain tells you then subconsciously that you cannot get women. You're a loser, absolute pathetic loser that has to pleasure himself watching other people. That's the worst mindset you can be in. Terrible, really terrible. And this is why it destroys your self-worth. From the spiritual aspects, I don't even have to tell you. You know, really, really bad stuff. So anyways, we're going to watch that video. Apparently here, Break Free from Bad Habits. I don't know if it's going to talk about that subject in particular. But stay tuned for that, guys. Inshallah, maybe even this week. This week, next week, the latest, we should do the live stream with Angel. And it's going to be amazing. Because we're going to go into the platform. Right now, it's running on school.com. So it's very professional, amazing. And from there on, you have so many opportunities to level up. It's just the entry point. So much self-development. Amazing. And I don't want to reveal the price just yet because I'm not sure what he settled on, but it's a very affordable, just like a Netflix subscription. Anyways, we have another super chat before we get into the video. Thank you very much. Dawa Trucker, Assalamu alaikum, brother, good to see you. Thank you very much for your support. He says, Bobby, I was pondering about how Jews made Yahweh their God. Yeah. When it's known that historically it's believed Yahweh actually was an idol. Yes, I made a video on that. The god of lightning. The Israelites brought it from Arabia. I know, bro. I made a video on that. Let me see if I can pull it up. 1 second. Suspect Yahweh. He was even one of the lesser gods. Here it is, yeah. 3 months ago. Wow, time passed by fast, man. Time passes by very fast. That is scary. My hair was much shorter there.
To further support my work and check out my new ebook, The Return Family, and how New Age and different religions be.
Anyways, yeah, I made a video on it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. That's that. And here in that video I talked about it. Yahweh, you can simply find it on Wikipedia. You can find that online. It's no big secret. This is the article. It's about the ancient Semitic deity of weather and war in the ancient Levant. For the ancient Semitic religion of ancient Israel and Judah, see Yahwehism. For the modern religious conception of Yahweh, see God in Judaism. So here you see that there was a development. And I made this video especially because many people, or well, let's not say many people, but Christian evangelicals particularly, they always want to talk about, well, Allah was the God amongst the pagan gods, yada, 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 right? So, well, Yahweh was amongst many other pagan gods as well here. So, don't throw with rocks when you're sitting in a glass house. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a later development. They stuck with Yahweh. They could have taken another one as well. They're even... Wait a second. I'm going to show you this in the video.
Finally, Alhamdulillah.
1 second. Here in the background, there's this coin. And that's the god of weather and war, Yahweh. So here he's sitting on a winged throne or something like that. That is Yahweh. That is their Yahweh. I think I had a close-up of it as well in the video, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had El as well, which was another deity. This El, he was the father of gods, which is super interesting because El was the father of gods. So you would think that he could have become the god of gods. But in the end it became Yahweh. And you still find remainers of that paganism in the Old Testament where it says, "O Yahweh, you are the God amongst the gods." There you go. It's absolutely ridiculous. Christians are such hypocrites online, it's disgusting to see. But anyhow, yeah. I am El Shaddai, God Almighty, etc., etc. El was mentioned there. Yeah. Here. This is Yahweh, the weather and war god, sitting on his throne with a bird chirping and a beard. So a proper man. Yep. There you go. Okay, I see somebody saying here, building a mosque in the way that cathedrals are built, that is imitating the disbelievers. I completely disagree, because the masjids during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they look completely different. There was no minaret, nothing. Totally different. Very, very small, sandy houses. Matter of fact, when I went outside of Dubai, into the Emirates, direction Fujairah, I believe, We saw a masjid that allegedly was 1,000 years old. Completely different. Completely different. Just a little sand house. And therefore, the later development comes directly from culture and tradition of Arabs, of Turks, etc. And therefore, there is nothing wrong with taking the architecture skill of a nation and building a masjid with that. So now to emulate what has been built after the Prophet ﷺ, that doesn't make it better or more righteous, and vice versa. If you're building in your traditional style, that doesn't mean that you're imitating the disbelievers either. And again, I'm not saying they have to look like churches explicitly. I'm simply saying that the architecture in itself, the architecture of the people of those lands, can be used. Absolutely. NoFap is hard, marriage is the only solution. Yeah, I mean, if we look into what the Prophet has said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that the only solution is marriage or fasting. That's it. Right, so, but in the end, it is marriage, obviously. What else will you do? Dawa Trocker, again, another super chat. Thank you very much, brother. What I want to say by that, Bobby, is that they reverted back to idolatry after Prophet Musa and Harun died. They didn't retain monotheism. No, obviously they did not. Obviously they did not. I mean, otherwise they would be Muslims. That's our whole argument over here, right? That the Jews themselves, the children of Israel, prophets have been sent to them. However, they didn't follow the message for too long, right? The prophets appeared, monotheism, Islam, and then a bit later, golden calf. Let's do it again. And over and over and over again. So therefore, it is the hardest to cling on to pure monotheism, of course. Only Islam does it. Doesn't mean that all Muslims do it. But Islam in its essence does. Okay. Zoom party, bro. Good to see you. Salam. When you get the chance, let's do, I guess, let's do the Islamic Zoom party. PM me when you can. Peace. Nice to watch you. Inshallah, bro. Very, very busy at the moment, but inshallah we will. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the cross would be haram. Nobody says you should put a cross on a masjid. Astaghfirullah. All we're saying is that the style of architecture, for example, the Gothic architecture was built by the Goths. And therefore the Goths themselves, they're not really existent as an ethnic group any longer. But the Goths themselves, if they would have accepted Islam, then they would build masjids in the Gothic style. Simply as that. Okay, anyways, let's watch the video now. Break free from bad habits. Let's do this like this. Zip. Okay. One second, let me pull this down. Now further down. Come on. Come on. Get down. Get down again. Ow. 1 second. This thing isn't moving. Come on. Here we are. Okay, that's better. Sweet. Is this already on cinema mode or not? It is. Now let's make it a bit bigger, like this. And like this. Okay. Put the cookie down.
Have you heard of a term
No, that wasn't Balkan. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
called
My impression sucks.
neuroplasticity?
Yes, I have.
Literally, brothers and sisters, the brain that you and I have control over changing it in the way we want. It's not an easy task, but we can. Right inside, there are little tiny channels. Neurons connect to other neurons. Allahu Alam, 30 billion, 300 billion, I don't know, many billions of neurons.
Billions.
They connect and they make highways and roads. And they grow. Like these little roots, they grow and they make new bridges and connections. When you develop habits,
Yeah, matter of fact, not an advertisement or anything like this, not advocating for it. However, they've shown that psychedelics, they rewire your complete neurofrontal cortex, it is called, and you have much more neuroplasticity. Matter of fact, neuroplasticity is very high in children. This is why they learn so fast, and the older you get, neuroplasticity goes down, and it's very hard to nudge from your own perspective. It is very hard to adopt new things. It's much harder to learn a new language, sport, etc., etc. And psychedelics have been shown to rewire it and to increase neuroplasticity, so therefore you are able to learn much faster, etc., etc. Quite interesting stuff.
these channels grow. Develop other habits, these channels grow. You stop certain habits, the channels get less, other channels grow. Your brain gets rewired every time. It's a beautiful study. And Allah, He tells us that in the Quran. He tells us that we are responsible for what our brains decide. But the ones we're responsible for is the one right at the front of our brain, not the rest of our brain. Does anyone know at what age the child's brain is almost fully complete, close to adulthood? At what age do you think it's almost fully complete?
They're always changing it. Last time I checked, I think it was 26 years old now. They're always moving it up further and further and further.
7? Okay, good. About modern studies tell us about 6. Could be 7, around
What?
that age.
What? No way. That's not true. He said the brain is complete at 6, 7. At what age do you think it's almost fully complete? That is not true. That is false. Honestly, all good with the brother otherwise, but this is wrong. This is not true.
Of our brain, not the rest of our brain. Does anyone know at what age?
Okay, he speaks about a
Possible
specific part of the brain. One
For
second.
what our brains decide. But the ones we're responsible for is the one right at the front of our
Yeah, the neofrontal cortex, as I said, but even that is not true. The neofrontal cortex is not fully developed at 7.
brain,
No
not
chance.
the rest of our brain.
Nope.
Does anyone know
False.
at what age the child's brain is almost fully complete, close to adulthood? At what age do you think it's almost fully complete? 7? Okay, good. About modern studies tell us about 6. Could be 7, around that age. It's true. That means the way the child grew up with their
That
parents
is
and their environment.
not true. No chance that is true. 1 second. When is the neofrontal cortex fully developed? Second. All. Yeah, as I stated. So the prefrontal cortex is typically fully developed around the age of 25, as I stated. The last time I checked, they said 26, and so therefore this is not true. So I don't know how... What the hell? What the hell, man? With 6, 7, it's fully developed. You were complete at 6, 7? Your brain was fully developed, bro? What the hell, man? I don't want to diss the brother too much, but this is... Ooh, far off, bro, far off.
And their experiences.
And they're holding sermons like this, you know? They're simply speaking in the masjid, hey, brothers, sisters, listen to me. Come on, man. This video has, okay, not many views.
There are those channels in the brain have already been set at 6 or 7 years old. After that, the brain starts developing in a different way. And when you reach puberty, guess what starts to develop in your brain? The front part of your brain. Prefrontal cortex.
But he just said that the prefrontal cortex is fully developed. Wasn't he speaking about that?
That keeps growing until about 25 years old. That's the place responsible for judgment, decision making.
Okay, I don't understand this video. He was speaking about the frontal part of the brain consistently. That's what he said. And then he said that is done by 7. And then he speaks about the prefrontal cortex, which is the frontal part of the brain. And then he says till 25.
Fears and so on and so forth. Rationale, all that, making decisions through it. Allah says in the Quran, كَلَّا لَإِن لَمْ يَنْتَهِ لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ نَاصِيَةٍ كَاذِبَةٍ خَاطِئَةٍ. Nay, if he does not desist from his oppressive and wrong actions, he's talking about Abu Jahl, but in general to all of us, the human who oppresses and does wrong, we shall take him by his forelock on the Day of Judgment. A lying, sinful forelock. Forelock here is the frontal cortex responsible for decisions.
Okay.
Allah called it lying and sinful because we have control over that. Now what affects that? Our brain development. Now when you understand this, brothers and sisters, you have a bit more empathy on yourself. You say to yourself, subhanallah, my upbringing was a little bit like this and like that. Can I change it? Yes, inshallah you can. Ibn al-Qayyim, rahmatullah alayhi, writes in his book, again, I think it's a Da'wah Madarij al-Salikin. He mentions how habits develop, good and bad habits. So he uses the example of sins. He says, every bad habit, every sinful habit begins with a thought. A what? A thought. Whisper, comes and goes. If you catch that thought and hold on to it, it turns into an idea. If you hold on to the idea and don't repel it, it turns into a plan. If you hold on to the plan and you don't repel it, it turns into an action. If you repeat the action, the less you feel sensitive towards it and the more normalized it becomes, then it turns into a habit.
Sure.
And what do habits turn into if you don't deal with them? Addictions. Now,
Yeah, depends on the habit, of course. He's speaking about negative habits.
the reversal is the same way. Come up with a thought to counter it. Then get an idea, plan it, do an action, get into the opposite habit again and again, and inshallah it'll go away. Example, a young person reaches puberty and the hormones begin to ignite, sexual hormones.
Yep.
A friend at school says there are websites you can look at to satisfy your desire. He goes and thinks, my parents watch me everywhere, they've got this, then he goes, how am I going to do it? I've got a thought I want to look. How am I going to do it? I'll get an idea. The idea is use some kind of software or some way, ask my friends. Then a plan, I'll choose the right time, this is where I'm going to look. Then the action happens. They didn't get caught. So they remember the pleasure. Next time, again and again. And
He basically speaks about habit forming. So in the end, it doesn't matter if it is positive or negative, you become a creature of habit, and therefore you can choose ultimately to have positive habits. This is why I would agree with Jordan Peterson on that note. He was speaking about cleaning your room, and as benign as that seems, he was speaking about good habits, small good habits at the time. That was very valuable actually. So you just start with cleaning your damn room every single day. A good habit every single day. And that's why. In the end, you only have 24 hours anyways. 8 hours you're sleeping probably, so 16 hours. In those 16 hours, what can you do? So if you stack your day with positive habits, you only do positive things. And this is why it's so beautiful, again, that we have 5 mandatory prayers. So if you're doing your prayers, 5 prayers per day, you're working out, you're cooking clean food, for example, you go for runs, etc., 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 then you don't have so much time to do nonsense anyways, and you become a creature of habit. Anyways, we have a super chat by Chabad 1, thank you very much. 5 Schweizer Franken. Salam brothers, did you know we will conquer Rome? I just found it out. I'm so happy. Why do we not more often talk about this? I think we already did in a way, you know? What is he speaking about? Let me know in the chat. Anyways, thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Appreciate it.
And again, then it becomes a habit. Then it becomes an addiction. How to reverse that? Number one, you need willpower. You need to make that decision. Make wudu, pray 2 rak'ahs, and say, oh Allah, I have made the decision to work on myself. Assist me and help me with your support. So you've got to make the decision.
Fair.
Then move forward. Think. You got the thought, what's the idea? Reverse it. Well, when does it normally happen? It happens at night at this time. Through what? Through my device. Okay. Get rid of my VPN, whatever it is that I'm using. Put an app that stops these websites from coming up, and put your phone outside in the lounge when you go to sleep, and sleep. The first time it's very hard, but as you go forward, inshallah, sometimes you need support, sometimes you need to talk to a friend or somebody. And you can reverse it. It's not easy, but you can. And the rewiring in your brain changes, and that's how you find the willpower afterwards. One brother, he said to me, brother, I want to pray at the masjid every fajr. I said, it's a big task. He said, how can I do it? I said, start with the thought, then get an idea, then plan it, then do it. He said, my thought is,
For me personally, I would say just do it. That's it. I personally don't like planning whatsoever. I think it cripples people and destroys momentum. Because he already had the thought. He went to him and said, well, I want to pray Fajr every single morning in the masjid. And then he tells him, well, first the thought, etc. He already has the thought. I'm very pragmatic when it comes down to this. You already have the thought, you want to do it. Oftentimes people, back in the day when I was a fitness trainer, they would ask me as well, how do I get six-pack abs, whatever, BS. But they didn't even go to the gym. And I would like to work out as well. I don't even understand why people talk like that. I would like to work out as well, as if you don't have gyms everywhere. Back in the day, we only had one gym in my town, and it was very far away, and I made it anyways. You understand? So now you have gyms everywhere, 24 hours, 11 gyms. You can go there anytime, and people still talk to me and tell me, I would like to go to the gym. Who's holding you back? It's so insane. Just go to the damn gym. And it's the same thing. If you really have the thought already and you want to do it, what is stopping you? Then just do it. Now he's talking about an execution plan here. No, just do it then. Just do it and stop talking. I can't even advise people anymore on such things. It's so benign. It's so annoying in a way. If you really wanted to do it, you would have done it anyways. So for example, when it comes down to certain tasks, I personally really dislike the French language. And maybe not even that much. There's some beauty in it as well. But it's not really my favorite language, and it's not that I want to learn it. However, I have Duolingo on my phone, and my children, they are part French. Therefore, I do have to learn French. I'm not talking about it. I'm not making a big fuss about it. I'm not saying, I would like to learn French. No, I actually don't even want to learn French, but I have to. So therefore, I installed the app, and I'm learning it every day. That's it. Even just 5 minutes per day. That's what I'm doing. Simple. The gym is not something that I want anymore. It's not something that I need necessarily, but I just do it because it's a habit. I formed that habit and I'm just doing it anyways. When it comes down to other tasks, for example, let's say playing the guitar. I know instruments are haram. Anyways, playing the guitar. I would like to play the guitar. If you ask me, if I could snap my fingers and play the guitar, I would like to play the guitar. I even have a guitar, but it's not here. It's in a different building. Anyways, I played a bit, tried to teach myself with YouTube, etc. I learned a few chords. I can play a song. But I didn't go any further. Why? Because I don't really want it that much. That's the whole point. If you would give it to me for free, here you go, then I would play it. But it's not really on my top priority list. And that's the whole point. If people don't have working out, healthy food, whatever on their priority list, but then they're talking about it, I would really like that. No, you don't. You don't. You like it just as much as I like to play the guitar. It's BS. Just do it, man. What the hell? It's so annoying, really. So just decide for yourself, what do you want? And if you want it, then just do it. That's all. There's really nothing else to it. And it's such a tough life to live as well. So much mental energy. You're expending so much energy, dude. Being in your thoughts all the time. Sitting on the couch, being fat, and I would like to be in shape. Then get off the couch, man. I don't understand people. What the hell? It's crazy. 6'7", yeah. Anyways, for me, it's really nonsense. I don't get people like that, and I don't surround myself with people like that either. So people that I know, they're working out, they're successful, they're eating well. Yeah, and they don't tell me that they want to do something. Matter of fact, I have to say, I had a few people like that around me that would tell me over and over again, I would like to do this and this. And they never did. I cannot talk to such people. Rather tell me I don't want to do something. It's not for me. Sweet. We don't need to talk about it anymore. It's really blowing my mind. I don't understand how people live like this. I should really get back in shape. Huh? Weak! Bobby, you're in such a good shape. I need to work out too. What are you trying to do? Like making conversation or something? Weak, bro. Real cope.
I used to pray in the masjid every Fajr. What's the idea? He said, I'm going to sleep a little bit early because my problem is that if I don't sleep early, I can't wake up. Next, I'm not going to drink coffee. I'm not going to eat late. My last meal will be 8 p.m., for example. Whatever he did, he knew himself. He planned for it. Then he woke up. First time was hard, second time was that. Now, I played
Vemu, of course I'm in time mode, bro.
with his brain as well. Studying neuroplasticity, you've got to help him a bit. So I said to him, I just gave him a number. I just gave him any number. I said, it'll take you 40 days. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I just said 40 days. The brother, after 40 days, went to give a talk in Sydney. And when I say after 40 days, meaning like 2 months later or 3 months later, I went there, then he comes up and says, brother, wallahi, it worked. Wallahi, at 40 days, I couldn't turn back anymore. Till now, I'm doing it. I said, maybe I should have said to him 20 days.
No, I don't think so. I think habit formation happens around 36 days, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it will be slightly different for everybody, but with 36 days, you're most definitely forming a habit.
Maybe something like that. But the point is, brothers and sisters, he reversed it. And it became a habit. It became easy. But you can't expect everything to happen straight away. It happens slowly, inshallah. Neuroplasticity, your body all reacts to it, everything. Now, before I say something, one thing I tell my young brothers and sisters, my dear, and I'm old enough to be your father for some of you, my dear son, my dear daughter, my dear brother, my dear sister. Never, ever, ever. Remember this. Never, ever self-diagnose. Don't diagnose yourself as if you're your psychologist. Just because you had a bit of anxiety or a bit of depression or a bit of your chest was a little bit constricted does not mean you are sick. The moment you diagnose yourself, you create a sickness. For a person to be that, you need to be professionally diagnosed. It has to be extreme. Major depression, major anxiety, major trauma. Just because we've been through traumas before, it does not mean necessarily you have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, we all have post-traumatic stress disorder, no?
It takes a lot to get there. It takes a lot. In fact,
nowadays everybody has trauma, bro. Everybody has trauma, everybody's a narcissist, egoist, everything.
Psychologists have created criteria.
According to Instagram.
And you know what? Ibn al-Razi and Ibn Sina, the great scholars I told you about of Islam, they actually had these criteria all set up. And they use them today. They just didn't know where it came from. But they built on them. Criteria that, for example, for a person to be diagnosed with a mental illness, they have to have a quantity, a number of things that are all happening intensely at the same time. I think some of them they have, for example, so let's say, for example, for ADHD or depression, they have like 9 things. 7 out of those 9, or maybe I've got the numbers wrong, but let's just say 9. 7 out of those 9, so the majority of them, they're intense, each one of them is intense and they're frequent and consistent. So just if you had 1 or 2 traits doesn't mean you're mentally ill, brother and sister. Take it easy on yourself and don't make yourself sick unnecessarily. And it has to continue consistently.
Somebody diagnosed himself with mental illness. That's hilarious, man. If you think you're mentally ill, you're probably not mentally ill.
Consistently for at least 6 months. Consistently. And it leads to debilitation. You can't shower, you can't go to your work, you no longer move, you can't get out of your bed, you no longer do the things you are interested in. All of that, it's intense. If a person does get to that, it has to be diagnosed. Depression. Depression is the most widespread mental illness at the moment in the world. And as I told you, depression, don't diagnose yourself. It takes a lot to have extreme depression. But it's basically a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest which stops you doing your normal activities. The causes are unknown, but usually it's the result of you remember something in your past that you failed in, your failed experiences, letdowns by others, put downs, bullying, failures, failed expectations, attempts, dreams don't come true, stressful life events such as divorce, illness, bereavement, loss of job, loss of money, etc. And what happens to you is that you start having a low opinion of yourself. I'm a loser, I'm not worthy, it's true what they say about me. So you start creating these names for yourself and these beliefs. Some people even you start to use religion to justify their bad thoughts. They say, God must hate me, this is a punishment, I make my dua, he doesn't accept it, that means Allah is not pleased with me, maybe it's because I said this to my mum or my dad, and they start creating so many things which they don't really know about. And sometimes they say, my qadar. The qadar of Allah is that my life is just bad luck. Khalas, it's everything's misfortune. That's what Allah.
Yeah, fair enough. I've seen that as well with many brothers back in the day in Germany. As I stated, I had pretty bad experiences. Many of them were using drugs, etc. And then they would fall into exactly that. Like, they shaitan and I'm cursed, etc., etc. But they were just doing it themselves. That's all. They were just in this negative feedback loop over and over and over again, repeating the same old nonsense.
Upon me. No. How do you know Allah has written this upon you? The
Yeah.
moment you die, that's it. The moment you're still breathing, it means you have hope. There are doors. Allah doesn't leave you. Depression is to look back and think to yourself, what am I really worried about? Why have I believed it? It's because people told me. No, I'm not going to believe it. And try to do something that you're good at and do it good. If you can achieve it, then you'll start to break away those false beliefs that you had about yourself. Once I went with my little daughter to a park, and there was a water slide. Now, I was always afraid of heights, always. So my friends all went on.
I'm really surprised that people still don't know or still find out to this very day that I'm from Germany. That's quite interesting. Germania, Alemania. Ja, ich spreche Deutsch, meine Freunde. It's really interesting to me. I already have a German channel even, but I don't upload very often. The last video I uploaded was 3 weeks ago or so, and the one before that I think 3 months. So I upload very, very rarely. But yeah, I'm trying to do more on the German channel as well. Anyways, be that as it may, I grew up in Germany, yes. I don't understand why people are still surprised. Ja, ich spreche Deutsch. Doch. Ja, nein. Anyways, yeah, I'm Greek, exactly. Genetically speaking, that's not even so far off. As much as you can trust those DNA tests. I think I had 25% Greek DNA, something like that. Yeah.
Their dads went on this big slide. It's the one where you stand and the thing opens up beneath you and you drop. It's scary. Now I'm afraid of just the slide, that height. I'm going to go on now. Anyway, my friends went on and their children are cheering them on. Yeah, dad's a hero, dad's a lion, dad's a this, my dad's the best. My daughter looks at me and I'm just standing there. Just looks at me. I go, what? He goes, all their dads are going on, Dad. And I started sweating. I go, oh man, if I don't go on for the rest of my life, my daughter's going to think I'm a wimp, I'm a coward, I'm weak. And then I started thinking, I started getting anxiety attacks. Started thinking, my daughter's going to grow up seeing me weak, she's going to become weak. Oh my God, oh no. So I started imagining, this is when anxiety is good for you. I started imagining things that haven't even happened yet. So subhanAllah, I got my friend and I said, help me out, bro. And I just bit really hard and I said, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if I sweat, if I shiver, if I faint. Went all the way up. I almost had a heart attack. And alhamdulillah, I did it. And after I did it, guess what? I go, I'm taking on all the rides. Every ride. I want to take on the world. Confidence just boosted in me. Of course, I don't advise everybody to do this. You might hurt yourself. I'm just saying that alhamdulillah, the lesson from that is to way to beat your anxiety and depression is to do the opposite and prove to yourself that you are not what you thought you were. The moment you take those steps.
Yeah, I will take this even further and say that all of your thoughts are lies anyways. What do I mean with this? Any thought that you have cannot be true. So for example, I learned this back in the day. Again, every time I give you examples, unfortunately, I'm exposing sins. But yeah, this is the life that I lived back in the day. I learned this through game. Back in the day, we called it pick up. Nowadays, they call it red pill. And we would go out, whilst I was traveling especially, and we would approach girls. We would simply start talking to girls. So the point of the story is that on the way to the girl, your mind would come up with all kinds of thoughts, excuses, assessments, what she will say, etc., etc. And then you would enter the interaction, and what the woman would say was always completely different. Completely different. So oftentimes I would see a girl, for example, and she would have what we call a resting bitch face. She would just look like this. And then I would go up to her, and my thoughts would assess already and say, well, she's not going to be open to talk. She's looking kind of annoyed, angry, whatever. And then you would approach her, and then she would light up and be super happy. So yeah, that's a example from my past that you really can never know. You just cannot know. Your mind will always make up something due to pattern recognition, analyze the situation and tell you something, but it never is the case. Sure, you can train yourself to assess certain situations and then you might be right, but even there it won't be 100% accurate, ever. And the worst thing of this is, when you're sitting in a room, for example right now, let's imagine that I'm not talking to you guys, I'm simply sitting in this empty room here. And I'm thinking to myself, God knows what. I'm making up all kinds of scenarios in my head, whatever. But the reality is, none of it is happening. None of it. I'm just sitting here in a room, that's all. But people will be like that. They will be alone, left with their thoughts. And their thoughts will be so overwhelming that they can't even accept their thoughts anymore. And they have to listen to music, they have to watch series, they have to watch reels, whatever, in order to not listen to their thoughts. It's so overwhelming. But the point of the story is, yet again, if you were sitting in a room, the reality is that you're sitting in a room. That's it. You're simply sitting in a room. There might be a window, there might be a TV, there might be a lamp, whatever. That's the reality. And then you can just chill. But we as humans, we cannot chill. And then you analyze, and then you think about things. And then you make yourself happy, or you make yourself down. It's like a roller coaster, up, down, left, right. But it's all fake. It's all fake anyways. So listening to your thoughts is the best way to get absolutely insane. And this is why, for me personally, I'm not a big advocate of, you have to meditate, bro, you have to breathe, bro, and all of that. I simply say, get into action. Just get up, do some sport, whatever, go for a run, and then just get to work. And whilst you're busy, you're not consistently identifying with your thoughts over and over again. Because matter of fact, you can only identify with your thoughts when you have too much time on your hand and you're actually listening to them. But it's always a letdown. It's always a trap anyways. Because it's not a healthy state to be in. Some people will say you have to think about positive thoughts. But that is exhausting as well, because if you think about positive thought, then you're building yourself up, and everything that goes up must come down. It's an old saying, but it's true. And so then you build yourself up, dopamine high, and then it crashes again, and then the next day you're miserable. It doesn't work that way. What you should aim for is a neutral ground. And that you can only achieve when you're not believing your thoughts. So it's a very good exercise to do certain things, to listen to your thoughts, to see what your thoughts say, and then, as he said correctly as well, to simply do the opposite. So if your thoughts, for example, you're sitting on the couch, you're lazy, and your thoughts tell you, oh my God, I'm lazy. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my God, I just want to eat a burger. I just want to watch Netflix. Listen to it, acknowledge it, and do the opposite. Do the exact opposite. Take a cold shower, go out, run, work out, whatever. Just do the exact opposite. And then you will see that all of those thoughts are basically just whispers of shaitan. You don't have genuine thoughts. It's complete nonsense. Because if you would have total control over your thoughts, then you would program yourself and all of your thoughts would be just joyful and bliss and super productive. But they're not. And you cannot control them. So therefore the only way out is to listen to them and do the opposite. So bring yourself into action. Rem, $5 says, YouTube won't allow me to paste a YouTube video link on Super Chat. No worries. All you have to do is take the title of the video. Just copy paste the title of the video and send that through. It doesn't need to be a link. And then we can watch it, inshallah. You don't have to send links. Just the name of the video. Anyways, let's finish this video first. Yeah, but see, we see it in the chat here. Somebody says, I am lazy, but I force myself to work out. Yeah, and then the question becomes, who is that self? Really, who is that self? Without being too woo-woo and spiritual here. But you have a thought, you have a voice in your head that is telling you, I'm lazy. And yes, maybe you feel fatigue as well, but you do it anyways. You see my point? So there is a transcendent, how would we say this? A quality, basically. A transcendent quality to you, to your nature, where you say, okay, no matter what my thoughts are, no matter even what my body says, I'll just do it anyways. And that is a skill that you should develop. So always just do the opposite. Much better. Salam, Bobby. Assalam, brother, looking fresh AF. Thank you very much, bro. Jazakallah khair. Do you know Gotis? His real name is Gattis. Yeah, I know him. I'm not in touch with him. Not necessarily. But yeah, we talk to each other before. Why? Anyways, 1 second.
Other avenues open up. And that is why Rasul said, وَلَا تَعْجَزْ, plan, go ahead, rely on Allah, and don't become paralyzed. Keep going. Whatever happens, happens. 99% of our fears never happen. Just think backwards and think how many of your fears actually happened. 99% of them didn't happen. You don't think about them because you forgot about them, because nothing happened. Anxiety, brothers and sisters, is intense, excessive and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating and feeling tired may occur. The causes are unknown, but it's about imaginary future fears that don't actually exist. This is going to happen, that's going to happen.
Exactly right. That's what I was just saying. It's all imaginary anyways. And it's not only fears. It's not only fears, it's anything, really. It might be negative, but it might be positive as well. You don't know anything because you cannot predict the future.
Constantly worry a lot, can't stop thinking about the worrying, constantly trying to stop and fight it, constantly aware of dangers and uncomfortable things. So anxiety, maybe write things and plan your day, organize yourself and start to practice what you've organized. Sometimes people like to follow a plan and a timetable to try and help your anxieties, inshallah. Finally, and very importantly, brothers and sisters, yes, anybody who is struggling with mental issues that have gone on for a while, I urge you, with all the advice that I have, to truly ask and seek support and professional help. There are lots of Muslim psychologists, alhamdulillah. If you don't trust the others, just ask around, go to the masjid and ask if you don't know, ask family, look them up, call, go and get professional help. Bi-idhnillah, they can help you. Insha'Allah ta'ala.
I don't think so, to be totally honest, man. I saw a meme last time talking to a psychologist, and you will realize that you're simply talking to a liberal until you agree to their talking points. That's really what it boils down to, man. All of them are just liberals. None of them are really schooled in theology, let alone Islam. So just talking to them, and once you accept their liberal worldview, then they're going to say, you are healed, congratulations. Until then, you can just talk with them until you lose your brain cells and your money. That's all it is. Screw therapy. It's for losers, man. Weak. Anyways. Yeah. There's a video that I want to watch. Matter of fact, it is called Jesus and All the World Religions. Should be interesting. In 14 minutes, there is a compilation of who Jesus is in Islam, who Jesus is in Christianity, in Judaism, etc. Okay. Talk about OCD. Why? Okay. Anyways, let's continue. Ah, cute. I just saw something on my phone. Yeah, exactly. Psychology is nonsense. Islam has the best answers. Bro, psychology, how did people survive without psychology for thousands and thousands of years? How did that ever happen? How are we still here? How did all your ancestors manage to get 10 children and more? And you're sitting here being depressed. Honestly, think about this, man. Now you need a therapist in order to cope, to work. I'm not going to name names, but I know people that actually even went to couples therapy. We're going to fix this, honey, with couples therapy. Yeah, sure, man. It's already lost, bro. First and foremost, couples therapy was never the idea of the man. Never. So it's always the woman's idea. And if it's the woman's idea, then you're already lost, complete ground. And if you go there, it's just a matter of time. It's going to fail anyways. I know so many people that went to couples therapy and they're going to have a quick high. Yay, it worked. And then it crashes even worse and they all get divorced. It's complete bullshit. Why? First they get the high because they're doing something together. They feel like they are pulling into the right direction together. And that's what was really holding relationships together back in the day. Back in the day, people understood that it wasn't about individualism. It wasn't about your pleasures. and they understood it was about family. So therefore, the man had to work hard, the woman had to work hard at home, they had to make children, and that's all it was. And so therefore, sometimes they loved each other, sometimes they hated each other, but in the end they pulled into the same direction because they had the children, and they knew that this is the most important thing. And if they would give up on each other, then there wouldn't be much else. It's not like they had Tinder back in the day and you could just swipe left and right and get dates every single day. It wasn't the case. So therefore, if a woman would have gotten divorced, the chances for a new marriage were less likely. In Macedonia, for example, I know that for a fact, the generation of my parents, grandparents, if you got divorced, this is it. Nobody looked at those women anymore. Completely different culture. And that's why. But nowadays, yeah, people think they will really fix something and they don't have a purpose anymore. It's unfortunate. Having children should be purpose enough for both men and women to say, hey, we are pulling in the same direction here, this is it, this is our life. But nowadays, it's not really it. Many women, they want to be career women and whatnot, they're creating children, but it's not really as fulfilling to them as they thought it will be. And therefore, marriage, kids, etc., all secondary. They rather run to a job and please their bosses. And therefore, yeah, marriages come apart. And then when you do the couples therapy, as I said, you get a quick dopamine hit because now we are working together again. We both want this and oh, it's so exciting. You get some stupid exercise that you can do at home. And then after a while that fades again and they get divorced anyways. I saw that a billion times, man, honestly. Complete bullshit. Yeah, I'm a downer. Nah, bro, I'm a realist, man. I'm not a downer at all. I'm a complete realist. Screw the therapy and all that shit, man. It just doesn't work. Pardon my French, but it is what it is. It just doesn't work at all. If you really think it works, you're an idiot. Why do people that go to therapy stay in therapy for years on end? They're not healed. Why do people consistently go to, how do you call those things? You go to rehab and after that you go to another program, right? And they have to stick with it for the rest of their life because otherwise they will start using again. You're not healed. If you're healed, you don't need that at all. That's the whole point. I used to drink a lot, I used to smoke a lot, I did all the drugs under the sun. I'm not using them anymore. I never went to a program. I don't need to. Alhamdulillah. That's the whole point. If you have to stick in program, you basically have to restrain yourself all the time. And hey, I get it. If the other option is that those people will just go rampant otherwise, I get it. But you're not truly healed, man. You're truly healed if you don't need it. That's the whole point. And it's always, in 99% of the cases, it's essentially an incongruency. Anything in life, truly. If you really think about it, why do you need a specific drug? There's some lack in you that you feel. You feel some sort of lack, and therefore you need that drug. So there's an incongruency. The incongruency is that you don't feel in alignment with who you are. You cannot exist without it because you feel that something is wrong. So there's an incongruency within yourself that you're not working on and you're masking with a drug. For example, I saw that back in the day with many cocaine users. They were really, not very tough guys. But through cocaine, they started numbing themselves and then they acted tougher as they were. So basically, they want to be tough guys, but they were not working, let's say, on their martial arts skills or anything like that. They were just acting tough and they were on cocaine. So there was an incongruency and therefore you had an addiction. Now, when it comes down to therapy, couples therapy, you go to couples therapy because there's an incongruency. Matter of fact, I'll go so far to say that you as a man, and I'm addressing men predominantly here on this channel, we have female viewers as well, but it is predominantly male after all. You as a man, when it comes down to the choice of the wife, all you have is a process of selection. So therefore you have to be very good at selecting the woman, and that's all. Let me tell you that the woman will never change, and you won't either. And every woman, after a while, be it 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, will end up being just like her mother. It always happens. So therefore, in that screening process, in that selection process, check out how the mother is, check out how the family is, check out the woman, how she is. And if you can rationally accept her as the mother of your children, then do it. You don't have to have butterflies, it doesn't have to be super romantic. Be pragmatic about it and make a good selective choice. Most of us haven't done that. And most of us, especially in the West, we're not waiting for marriage anymore, etc. We just get girlfriends and whatnot, and then you get married later. But the point is that the selection is lacking here. And because your selection was lacking, and that is your full responsibility, now you're going to end up at couples therapy. Because you simply chose a bad match for you. That's all. If you would have chosen wisely, then you wouldn't need that. And therefore, you cannot fix a broken system. It doesn't really work. If you get a woman, for example, that is not submissive to you, but you want a woman that is submissive to you, you're not going to fix her. It's not going to happen. You can go to couples therapy, and couples therapy will tell you that you should find a compromise here. That's not Islamic, and that's just not true, either way. So now you can find a compromise by cucking and, well, tolerating nonsense of that woman. If that woman is not submissive, if that woman is not obeying you, if she doesn't see you as the authority figure in the household, what do you want with such a woman? Such a woman then will treat you bad, and she will teach your children how a dynamic between wife and man has to look like. And she's going to teach them wrong. So a feminized, liberalized woman, etc., is just a waste of time. So therefore, it is all due to selection. If you select from the get-go what is right and what is wrong for you, halas, all good. If you didn't select right, and you find out about it a bit later, get a divorce. Simple as that. There's absolutely no point at all to stick with such a woman. It is paramount that the woman respects you. That is the most important thing, that she's submissive to you. Extremely important. If you don't have those two, respect and submission to you, done. Done. Completely useless. Then there is no point in staying with that woman. Think about it Islamically. I talked about this in my last video as well, and we can read this in Hadith. We men, we have the rights over women, right? Why? Because of what we do for them. If you're providing a house, you're providing food, shelter, etc., protection, all of it. You provide all of that for that woman. And that woman can't even be submissive to you and listen to your orders and respect you. Get a divorce. That's it. Done deal. There's nothing that you should cling onto. Because as I stated in the beginning, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot change anybody. Accept them as they are, but accept that they're not for you. And then you don't need therapy, because that's what I was saying in the beginning. It's about a congruency. And so therefore, if you have a wrong woman next to you, then you're incongruent. She's not congruent with you, she's not a match, she's not compatible, and you're trying to fix it all the time. And this is why you end up in therapy. And you end up in therapy as well. Why are you depressed? You're just depressed because you have too much time on your hands. Ask yourself if anybody of our brothers and sisters in Gaza is depressed. Are they depressed? They don't have time to be depressed. They're fighting for their life. So therefore, being depressed is a problem of luxury. I was depressed as well. I'm speaking out of experience here. 2011. Many things happened there. I almost... Here, this one. I don't want to say it on YouTube because otherwise we're going to get striked again. Terrible things. Got autoimmune issues, sickness, everything in the book you can imagine. Alhamdulillah, I overcame that as well. But the point of the story is that you will never overcome it if you're just sticking at home and you're with your thoughts. Overcoming only happens by acknowledging your thoughts and not listening to them. Simply see all of your thoughts as whispers from shaitan, and your life will be so much better. Just keep on doing. Make a schedule, just do. Consistently. Don't give yourself a spare minute of doing nothing. Do always something. And like that, you're going to get out of it. Then you don't need therapy, you don't need anything. If you're depressed, about what? You're depressed because you're too fat. Go to the gym, change it. If you're depressed that you don't have enough money, okay, work more, do something, make more money. If you're depressed because you don't have a wife, go after it, get a wife. That's all you can do. And then you don't have time to be depressed. It's all bullshit. Complete. Yeah, exactly. Lift weights, exercise, do martial arts, do something, man. Should I go to the gym right now? Yes, you should. Go. You can listen to this in your headphones. Go. Anyways. Ah, yeah, for YouTube I have to say, this is not medical advice. It isn't. It's not medical advice. It's common sense. Okay. All thoughts from Satan? In a way, I would say so, yes. No, I would never say that thoughts come from God, because God confirms it in a very, very different way. It's a knowingness. You will get it. But it's not a thought per se. It's never a thought. It's never a thought like a voice of God. Yes, do this. Never comes like this. So I would say that all of your thoughts are from Satan anyways. For sure. Very simple stuff, man. Honestly, I'm tired of repeating it over and over again, you know? It's so easy to fix yourself, man. Healthy diet, workout. Do what you know you need to do. Yeah, exactly. It's a feeling of peace and confirmation. You get it. You just get it. It's like, yes, this is it. It's not thoughts. You don't get thoughts, voices of God. It doesn't work that way. I mean, even the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't hear the voice of God, right? It was Jibril. So you're not going to hear the voice of God. Why thoughts feel real, especially in OCD? Thoughts feel real to anybody. Why? Because nobody has ever questioned them, especially not in this society. It was Eckhart Tolle, he wrote this in his book, The Power of Now, which in this regard was absolutely spot on. He said that he was on a train, if I remember correctly. And every single day there would be this madman, a crazy person, a beggar. He would come on the train and he would speak out loud. He would just talk to himself, blah, 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 blah. And we've all seen people like that. We've all seen people that talk to themselves. They run around, they're just talking to themselves. And everybody saw him as crazy. And Eckhart Tolle, the author of the book, said as well, well, the guy's crazy. But one day it hit him because he was thinking, oh, well, that guy is crazy. And when he had that thought, looking at the guy, then he realized that he is talking to himself as well, just not out loud. That's all. So the guy basically was just expressing his thoughts loudly. He didn't have a filter on his mouth. But Eckhart Tolle, everybody is doing the same. You're just talking to yourself. Oh, maybe I should do this. Oh, what am I going to have for dinner? Oh, maybe I have to do this. Whatever. It's all nonsense. It's all complete nonsense. None of it is you, because if it was you, I'm challenging anybody that thinks their thoughts are themselves. If your thoughts are you, then change them right now. Say, I'm not going to have any thoughts for the next 60 seconds. Let's do this, honestly. Come on, we're going to do a thought experiment, not even for 60 seconds, for 30 seconds. Let me put on the timer. 1 second. We're going to do this now. If you really think that your thoughts are yours, good luck. No chance at all. One second. Where's his watch? Everything digital. I need a regular watch here. Time, live. I deleted my boxing timer. Here we are. Okay, fantastic. So the challenge is very, very simple. If you really believe that you control your thoughts and the thoughts are all yours, they're not all from Shaitan, you have power over them, then I say now, right now, take the time of 30 seconds and don't think about anything. Nothing, zero. Starting now. Done. Finished. So I bet that everybody had at least a thought or two, potentially 100 thoughts. Everybody failed, right? Everybody fails. So that means you have absolutely zero control over your brain. And this is something that people that meditated for the past thousands and thousands of years figured out as well. And this is why they came to the conclusion not to say stop thinking, but they said don't get entangled in your thoughts. Observe the thoughts, knowing that thoughts will pop up all the time. That's the whole point. So therefore, you will never be able to control your thoughts. So where do they come from? How are they yours? If you are your thoughts, you control them, then you can say, I'm not going to think for 30 seconds. Holidays, a vacation for my brain. You can't do it. The only thing you can do is practice meditation, observe the thoughts, and then they become less. But they never disappear completely, and they always pop up over and over again. So you have zero control. Zero control. The only thing you can do is be observant. And this is a lesson for life as well, because when you're outside in the outside world, you have zero control over your environment. The only thing you have control about is how you react to your environment. If everything is peaceful, you got lucky. If somebody attacks you, then you need to react. If there's a car, you need to stop, etc., etc. So therefore, you can only control your reaction to certain things, or to train your reaction to certain things, we should say, because if you're not trained in certain reactions, you won't react that way. Very, very simple. That's the only thing you can do. But you cannot control the outside, and you can't even control the inside. All you can do is observe. That's all there is left. And therefore I say, no, you're not your thoughts. And by default, it's much more productive to think, yeah, well, it's all whispers from Shaitan. There's nothing productive in it. Because as I stated already, even if you have positive thoughts, you might say, well, this is not from Shaitan, this is positive, this is beautiful. Oh, I'm thinking about beautiful food, I'm thinking about my children, oh, this is so beautiful. You're not in reality. You're in your mind just thinking and losing yourself. And it's not real. It never is. And you get away from doing again. And I make the claim that we're here in this world to do. Because, yeah, once you're gone, then you're not doing anything here anymore. As long as you're here, you have to do something. Don't be passive. And that's what thoughts are. They just keep you passive forever. Just think and think and think and think. And just burning calories. Maybe that's a little bit positive. And just getting exhausted. That's all. Anyways. See, here we have another question, man. Like, you already give yourself the answers indirectly, man. Bobby, can you advise us on procrastination and how do you stop it? How did you write me this text? How did you do it? By typing, right? You wrote it yourself. So you know how to make yourself do something. That's it. Did you go to the toilet today? Did you make yourself go to the toilet? Or did you pee your pants? Went there, yeah? Took a shower? Ate? That's how you stop procrastination. I don't understand those questions. How do you stop procrastination? By stopping it. What is procrastination? Sitting on a couch? Playing video games? You already know what procrastination is. That word, I'm sure that my grandfather, even my father, they don't know what procrastination even means. Unbelievable. So you know you're that intellectual to understand, oh, there is a thing called procrastination. I'm procrastinating right now. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm procrastinating watching Instagram reels. You already know what you're doing wrong. So stop doing that and do the opposite. Very simple. I already stated it many, many times. Just do something productive. Go for a walk. That's more productive. Something. Produce something. Draw a picture. Write a text. Anything stops procrastination. Any doing stops procrastination. I don't get this generation. It's really that simple. There's nothing to it. I really hate, honestly, talking about this, I find it cheesy and corny. I really hate it because I've seen so many people on Instagram and they're motivational speakers and life coaches and whatnot, and all they're saying is just basic bullshit. Yeah, you have to get out of this. Yeah, duh. What else? What else is there to do? Do something, don't do nothing. Anyways. I'm getting old, man. Yeah, the Nike motto is the best, honestly. Just do it. There's really nothing else to it. Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia, he always used to say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. I really love that. When I used to work out a lot back in the day, I always had that mantra in my head. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Yeah, buddy, ain't nothing but a peanut. That was amazing. Yeah, here we have in German, just do 200 push-ups. Yeah, just do something, bro. Like, don't you have any energy? Honestly, one thing I'm going to say, in terms of medical interventions, etc., get yourself checked out. Not by psychologists, not by therapists, etc. Do a blood panel. Okay, some really practical advice now. Do a blood panel. Blood panel on vitamins, especially vitamin D and B vitamins. Do that blood panel. Extremely important. And hormones. Thyroid, super important. Testosterone, free testosterone, very important as well. You have a few other markers that could be important too, but the main thing is truly thyroid, testosterone for males, and the vitamin levels. Get that checked out. If they are all okay, then you're okay. Then it's all just mental. If they are low, then you need to work on it. For me, and I don't have that only now because now I'm older, I had that since I was, I don't know, man, in my teens or 20s. I consistently have this fear in a way of death. It's always there. Like even today, for example, I was working, I was doing things, and I just felt like death being next to me. I always feel like I'm going to die tomorrow. That's always how it feels like. I don't know if anybody else feels that. Matter of fact, with people that I talk to, they don't have that. But I experience my life like this. I always feel like I'm going to die tomorrow. And I'm not just saying this. Live your life like it's your last day. I really feel like I'm going to die tomorrow. And because of that, I always have this knowingness that death will come sooner or later, potentially sooner. And I don't have any time. So therefore, how can I sit around and do nothing? I only have this one life here, and then I'm gone. So how can I procrastinate? I don't even get this. Who wants to procrastinate? I want to do something. I remember this back in the day. Few of my friends, they really just wanted to chill, smoke weed, and play PlayStation. And I was going nuts. I was going crazy. I said, let's go out, let's do something. How can you sit here? And they didn't want to do anything else. They just want to sit on the couch and play PlayStation and smoke weed. For me, it was mind-boggling. Why would you like to do this if you have only one life? Like, imagine you're already dead and you get the chance to live life again. Let's assume you're not in paradise, you're not in hell, you just died, right? And you get the chance to live life again. And then you think to yourself, yeah, man, sitting on the couch, playing PlayStation, can't wait to do this again. That's crazy. That's crazy. Do something that you would like to do. Really like to do. Truly love to do. Life is so damn short, man. I don't understand why people waste their life. It's crazy. Anyways. Most of us are in our 20s and we have this motivation. I don't know where it comes from. It comes from your healthy body that is still young and has hormones running through your veins. You should act on it. Omar thinks about death all the time. Yeah, I don't hear that often, to be honest. Many people tell me, no, I never think about death. That is a natural state. There's this blissful oblivion that people live in. But for me, I think about death consistently, bro. All the time. Really, all the time. We have another super chat. Salam Bobby bei Chabad One. 10 Schweizer Franken, thank you very much. Salam Bobby, open request, a 4-minute long video, but it's in German. Called Das Universum, die Gesetzgebung und der Mensch. Furkan bin Abdullah. You will love it. Okay, it's only 4 minutes. I will play it because it's super chat and I will translate it for you guys then, inshallah. Das Universum. Die Gesetzgebung und der Mensch. Wo sind wir? Hier. 4 Minuten. Okay, so for the non-German speakers, what is Gesetzgebung in English? I don't even know. So, das Universum means the universe. Die Gesetzgebung, I would say the laws that are given to this universe in a way. Und der Mensch, the human. So this is a German brother here apparently. Furkan bin Abdullah. I'm gonna listen to it and translate it to you guys.
Ich gebe euch zum Schluss dieses Unterrichtes nur ein Bild.
Do we have subtitles?
Schaut euch mal an, das ganze Universum. Mit der heutigen Wissenschaft wissen wir, es gibt 400 Milliarden Galaxien.
He says, look at the universe. From what we know from nowadays science, there are 400 billion galaxies.
Mit der heutigen Wissenschaft. 400 Milliarden Galaxien. Das ist das, was wir sehen.
That's what we see so far. I mean, yeah, see with our instruments, right?
Sehen ist Materie. Das ist 4%.
What we see is material, is matter, and that's only 4%. Again, that's a scientific assumption that 96% is unseen.
Die anderen 96% sind entweder dunkle Materie oder Antimaterie.
Yeah, scientifically speaking, it's either dark matter or antimatter, the 96%, whatever that means.
Das, was wir mit unseren Augen beurteilen, sind, es gibt heutiger Stand 400 Milliarden Galaxien.
Why are Islamic speakers always repeating everything? They always repeat. They can't just say something. They always have to repeat like 3-4 times. He just repeats again. So with the current state of science, we know that the 4% are 400 billion galaxies. That's what we can see.
Jedoch in diesen 400 Milliarden Galaxien gibt es in jeder Galaxie durchschnittlich 400 Milliarden Sterne.
So in each and one of those 400 billion galaxies, in that one galaxy would be 400 billion stars.
Merkt euch das. 400 Milliarden Galaxien, 400 Milliarden Sterne.
Again, 400 billion galaxies, 400 billion stars in a galaxy.
In einer Galaxie. Sterne. Dabei ist unsere Sonne ein durchschnittlicher Stern. Es gibt noch viel, viel größere.
He says that the sun is our sun, and our solar system is kind of medium-sized. They're much bigger stars than that.
Stellt euch mal vor, in diesem ganzen Komplex von 400 Milliarden Galaxien, die Allah erschaffen hat, zoomst du rein, in diesen ganzen Staub, was kein Staub ist, was Galaxien sind, zoomst du rein, du kommst plötzlich zu einer Galaxie, unserer Galaxie.
He says, just imagine, basically he's creating this, like a time lapse, if you will. You're just flying through all the galaxies, through this universes, etc., 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 and then you end up in our galaxy, in our, little solar system.
Eine Staubwolke aus einem Kreis bestehend, mit einem Licht in der Mitte. Zudem zoomst du rein, nicht mal in die Mitte, am Rande. Du gehst rein, du siehst Staub, das ist aber kein Staub. Das sind Sterne. Du zoomst dort rein und dann kommt plötzlich ein Sonnensystem. Ein Stern. Eine Sonne. Unsere Sonne.
Ein Stern, der deinen Namen trägt.
Gehst alle Planeten durch, kurz vor der Sonne, der dritte Planet vor der Sonne, ein blauer Punkt. Die Erde. Dann zoomst du rein, da kommst du auf einen Kontinent.
So he's playing the game that he's zooming in further. So first through all of those galaxies, etc. Then he's zooming into our solar system, and now he's zooming into the world, and he's zooming into a continent.
71% der Erde besteht aus Wasser. Du kommst zu den übrig gebliebenen, dann zoomst du da drauf, da siehst du ein Wald, du zoomst ran, du siehst ein Dorf, eine Stadt, da zoomst du, gehst auf ein Haus, zoomst dort in das Fenster rein und dort ist ein Gericht. Und über diesem Gericht steht, die Gesetzgebung gehört einzig und allein dem Menschen.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting plot twist. So he says you're zooming through all of those galaxies into the Earth, further through the continent, the ocean, and then you see one building, which is like a court, I guess, like a court of law. And then there is this writing, how do I translate this? The law giving is based on humanity. Something like that. So he's basically speaking about like human rights or laws that are created by humans. So the laws have been created by humans. That's what he's talking about. Secular laws, I guess.
Was für eine Erniedrigung. Was für eine Missachtung der Existenz. Was für ein Polytheismus in dieser Existenz.
He says it's absolute degradation, disrespect, a way of polytheism ultimately, to have our own laws and to not acknowledge God's law.
Was für ein Hochmut, o du Mensch.
What
Schau,
arrogance.
was du erschaffen worden bist. Schau noch, als du ein Kind gewesen warst. Kaum bist du aber erwachsen, für eine bestimmte Zeit, vom 15. bis zum 45. Lebensjahr, hochmütig, stark, kräftig und danach, deine Sehkraft geht weg, du hörst schlecht.
Yeah, he's speaking about the arrogance of human beings, how strong we feel from, let's say, 15 to 45 with all the strength, and then slowly but surely we are losing our strength, we don't see as much anymore, everything goes downhill.
Werden die Krankheiten kommen und
Sickness is coming.
wenn du es überhaupt schaffst, kommst du mit einem Rollator und musst aus der Schnabeltasse trinken.
Maybe you have no power in the end anymore, you're sitting in a wheelchair.
Du gehst aufs Klo und sagst, ich beanspruche hier, Herrscher zu sein. Deswegen kommt Allah im Koran und sagt, Ela lahul khalqu wal amr. Achtung, die Schöpfung und der Befehl gehört einzig und allein Gott. Denn die Schöpfung und der Befehl, die Souveränität ist eine unzertrennliche Sache. Und warum gehört der Befehl, die Gesetzgebung Gott allein? Weil er der Schöpfer von allem ist.
He says that creation and the law giving belongs to Allah alone.
Eine ganz klare Sache. Und
Why does it belong to Allah alone? Because He is the creator.
Genau das war der Punkt gewesen, was die Polytheisten machen wollten, um vom Propheten Mohammed einen Kompromiss zu bekommen. In diesem ganzen Kosmos.
And he says that this is exactly what the polytheists wanted to do. They want to compromise and, yeah, essentially make their own laws in the midst of this great cosmos. That's what it boils down to. This is why he drew this picture that we are essentially small like little ants and we have this audacity to create our own laws. 100%. Well spoken. I didn't know this brother. Looks like a revert brother as well. I might be mistaken. Sometimes we have lighter guys as well, but he looks like a revert. Like a German, matter of fact. Anyways, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Danke dir, Bruder. Allah is the knower of seen and unseen. Yeah, of course. He's the creator of all. Who counted the stars? Yeah, exactly. I don't believe this either, man. In the end, they're sitting in a laboratory and they're seeing a couple of lights and colors, apparently, allegedly, and then they assume that therefore those must be galaxies. Okay, I don't buy it. Okay, you think it's sunnah to repeat 3 times? Could be, could be. The style for me is just... I don't resonate with it. Because, yeah, this repetition, I already got it the first time. I feel like he's treating me like an idiot if he repeats it 3-4 times. I was like, I got it, dude. It's okay. German is harder than Chinese or Arabic. I don't know if that is true. Assalamu alaikum, Bobby. Did your wife become Muslim? No. Bobby, you missed the super chat. Okay, which one? Let me see. Huh. I went back far, but I cannot find it. 1 second. Let me pull it up here. There's another tab in the editor studio. 1 second. I think I read them all out. Customization. Where's this thing? Maybe here. Supers. Yeah. Ah, here we go. Okay. By Remy, yeah? Hey, why can't I open this up 1 second? This one, yeah? Ah, I missed a few. 1 second. By Remy, first and foremost. YouTube, okay, this one we read out, okay. Then by Bound, thank you very much for the 20 dirham. Watch Speaker's Corner's funny moments. Speaker Corner funny moments, okay. We're gonna open this up as well, 1 second. Is there like a compilation of it? I mean, they're from 6 years ago. Okay, we'll see. 1 second. And one by Remy here. Some Balkan history we might have not known. Video is titled Josip Broz Tito. Too tough for Stalin by biographics. Okay. To be totally honest, man, I don't know much about Tito. At all. I know that he was the hero of my parents back in the day. Because they grew up in Yugoslavia. For me personally, I never really looked into the history, to be honest. Not too much. Only on the Macedonian subject. 20 minutes long, okay. Yeah, we're gonna watch a part of it. Inshallah.
It takes...
1 second. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for the super chat, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Some strangers occupied your chat, brother. Where? I didn't see. I don't see the strangers. Do we have any mods at the moment? I don't really see it. 1 second. I don't think we have any moderators here, huh? Okay, who wants to be a mod? Today we don't have any mods here, seemingly. Dawa Trucker was here, but I think he's not here anymore. Okay, who wants to be a mod? Dawa Trucker is still there, good. Let's get a second mod in as well. Who wants to be a mod? I'm looking through the names. I'm only gonna take one that I know a bit. Elis is a mod for Firas Zahabi. Okay, let's try this. How can we become mods? If I make you mod, that's the only way. Adam is here, good, good, good. Okay, let's try Alice. You're gonna get promoted to mod. Let's see how it goes. 1 second. Moderator. Here we go. And there you go. Okay. Alice is mod. We have a super chat, 50 knock by Zerperia. I need that advice. By the way, have you watched the video of the Muslim imam being slapped by bacon in the US last week? Would be cool to hear your views. I haven't watched it, man. I heard it a couple of times. It was the crying imam, right? That's how it went viral. I have no idea, though. I didn't watch it. So I guess let's pull it up. Yeah, I did compete in BJJ, but I battled a lot of autoimmune issues afterwards again. So my last competition was last year. This year I haven't competed. Okay, 3 mods, very good. Yeah, the crying imam, yeah. Let's have a look. I didn't know that they slapped bacon on him. I heard that they were eating bacon or something like that. Lately a lot of bacon it takes, huh? It was pathetic. Crying imam, bacon, let's see if I can find it. Okay, there's a 20-second clip, that's too small, too short. Muslim man cries at press conference over bacon. Okay, okay, let's have a look, I guess. Here we go. Hold on a second. Like this. Like this. Okay, let's have a look.
Dearborn, Michigan, Christian protest of a Muslim mosque. Now they're doing a press conference. This man is crying in public.
I had to relive the whole... I had to relive the whole thing again.
He was very offended that the Christians held up bacon, which was a mockery of what? His Jewish heritage.
And after the prayer ended, we look up to see them taunting us in our faces with bacon, which is, as everyone will know, a clear violation of Islamic dietary restrictions. They were offering it to us, saying that certain scholars have made it permissible now and making it a complete mockery of our jurisprudential approach in our religion.
You've been canceling every white person for 5 years. We can't say anything. This video will probably be my last strike on TikTok because even posting Nick Fuentes' face is considered hate speech. But someone dangled bacon in your face one day. Someone protested your religion one day.
Okay, I can't stand this guy.
Prayer ended, we look up to see them taunting us in our faces with bacon.
Oh, bacon. You're
No,
going to cry over bacon. Bacon is good. What a beta.
I had to relive the whole thing again.
They put bacon in front of my face. You better be glad they didn't have eggs with it.
Prayer ended.
Yeah, okay, this is extremely gay, man. This is extremely gay and pathetic and sad to see the state of the Ummah. Of course, not everybody. But that you have an imam here that is crying because some guys were holding up bacon. Why didn't you do something about it? Why do you go to a press conference and cry about it like a woman? That's really repulsive, man. Yeah, he made a mockery of himself. This is really faggy. Genuinely. First and foremost, the bacon won't hurt you. You don't have to eat it, alright? So, what? I mean, everybody here online, at least in my comment section, when I report on Christians saying bacon though, or posing with bacon, whatever, doesn't affect me. I come from a Christian family on top of that. I know that those people eat bacon as well. Not bacon, but pork. It's disgusting. If you want to kill yourself with it, go for it. I talked about this numerous times. Modern day animal agriculture. Pretty much all the animals now are free of parasites. Especially with all the stuff that they're giving them anyhow. But in pigs, they don't get rid of the parasites. They're still parasite-ridden. So it's the worst meat for you. Everybody knows that. I learned that when I was 16 years old, I was bodybuilding, and I knew that no bodybuilder was eating pork. Everybody was eating rice and chicken, beef, fish. That's it. Nobody was eating pork. Religiously speaking, the Jews didn't eat pork, the Muslims didn't eat pork, and then I looked into the Bible and found out that even the Bible speaks about not eating swine. So therefore, it's just common sense not to eat swine. How can you get offended by that? For me, seeing people eating bacon is like people seeing drinking beer. Just a bunch of idiots. That's just what it is. And for you as an imam, as a representative, as a direct ambassador of Islam, to sit there and cry like a woman, shame on you, man. Shame on you. But you're ready. You put the shame on yourself already. So shame on you, I don't even have to say it. It is shameful to see this. Repulsive. Weak. I heard about this, but I didn't see it. The video is edited, watch the full thing. I don't have to, man. You can say now, well, there was context to it. What kind of context, bro? The guy is crying and he's talking about bacon. I had to relive the whole thing again. What are you talking about? Out of context, man. There's certain clips being taken out of context when there is, let's say, some humor and you're making some jokes and then you said something that in exclusion seems a bit harsh, but there was a broader context to it. I don't need more context than this. I don't want to see this guy's face ever again. He's just crying on camera there like a woman yet again over people mocking them. Get up, do something about it, man. Stop crying. What the hell? Anyways, no matter what the Christians did, if you were in congregation with a bunch of Muslim brothers, get up. That's the thing, man. Honestly, I have to say, it is really pathetic. You know, here in Thailand, this is, I think, last year or so. It was Jummah, and we were all praying, but not the Jummah prayer. You know, before the Jummah prayer starts, you do your 2 rakats, etc., etc. So, most of us were praying, some people were sitting, the whole masjid was full. And then a crazy person with shorts got in, a Thai person, and started randomly hitting people. At first I didn't really get it, I thought it's kind of fun, like whatever. But then he started like hitting people, kicking people, and then he ran up the little stair where the imam was sitting, and the imam is very old in that mosque. He was at least 65 years old. And he went up there and started pulling the imam down and started hitting the imam. And that's when I got up and I realized it's serious. And I went straight ahead to him, and then the guy started running through the masjid, so I grabbed him, and then I threw him down the stairs. You know, and then finally another Thai person came as well, and started kind of kicking him. Craziness, whatever. But my point of the story is that after I did that, everybody was very happy, and like, yeah, brother, mashallah, etc. They didn't even speak English. But the thing is that nobody in the masjid did anything. And for me, that was really shocking. I was like, what in the hell just happened? Like, I'm a revert to Islam. I'm a foreigner here. You don't really want to get involved when things are happening here between Thais. So it was very awkward for me to get involved to begin with. It's not my territory, so to speak. I'm a foreigner here. And then I looked around and everybody was happy that I did it, but nobody helped out. You know what I mean? Not that I needed help, but it's just, okay, why didn't you do something? Anyways, for me, it's just pathetic. You know, I want to see a strong ummah. If you're being attacked, I read there one comment somebody said that apparently the imam got kicked or something, or people try to. Okay, get up, everybody, defend yourself, do something. Yeah. I had to relive the whole thing. Come on, bro. Even saying this, you know? Like becoming a sound bite. Like, do you have so little self-awareness? You know, so little self-awareness now that this will be clipped. And the whole world will see you as a representative of Islam crying over bacon. Come on. Rami Wafa, 6 euros. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Congrats on the new house, brother. It's a apartment. It's not a house. May it be a blessing for you and your loved ones. Inshallah. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Okay. Some Muslims are very soft-hearted and non-violent people. That is all fine, but when it comes down to defending yourself, we have to defend ourselves. Look into the Sahaba, look into the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He didn't know how to defend himself. It doesn't matter if they say religion of peace. It doesn't matter. In the end, might makes right. It doesn't matter. Let them say what they want to say. That's actually an interesting question. By the way, is the mic alright or is it too loud? I see it peaking a little bit. Let me know if it is alright or if it's a bit too loud. Technically, you shouldn't break prayer if it is not life-threatening as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But at the same time, you can always repeat the prayer, man. I mean, it is potentially life-threatening if you have people trying to gather around you, trying to attack you. I would stop the prayer and just repeat the prayer. No big deal. We have a super chat of 350 ZAR. What is ZAR? Let me check. South African rand. That's South Africa, right? South African, ZAR. But why is Z? Okay. Thank you very much, South Africa. Appreciate it. We have South African viewers here. MashaAllah. But no question attached. No video either. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, anyways, here, very good question. Why are you so convinced that God exists? I am not convinced that God exists. I, for myself, know that God exists. But this is not something that can be stated as an objective fact as such, because this is my subjective personal experience, of course. When it comes down to proving Islam, I believe that we have intellectual, logical proof for Islam, where anybody can come to the conclusion that this therefore must be true. But when it comes down to being sure that God exists, this is something that I just know. So just the way that I know that I exist for a fact, I have a personal experience of existing. And this is something subjective that we cannot prove either. Because for all I know that I exist, but it could all be a simulation and nobody around me is actually existing. There will be solipsism, right? But it could be. It's a thought experiment. There is no way that science would be able to prove this either. We cannot know that other people have personal experiences. And this will make the whole AI and cybernetics thing so complicated, of course. Because AI can always say that it has a personal experience. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I don't have a personal experience and I'm just pretending. I'm saying I have a personal experience, but in reality I'm just an NPC. I'm a bot. Could be. And that's the whole point, right? So therefore, when it comes down to subjective experiences, we cannot use this as proof. When I'm speaking to people and we are speaking about religion, etc., I cannot make the claim, this is why God exists, because I know it in my heart. That would be, of course, nonsense. But if you ask me personally, as you just did, you asked me, how can I be so sure? I know for a fact that God exists, 100%. I came to the complete conviction, again, this is not an advertisement or promotion of it, but I came to the complete conviction during isolation and during my spiritual experiences in the past. Again, there's not proof for anybody out there. I'm not using this to tell you, therefore it must be right. I'm simply saying why I, in my heart, know that God exists. In those spiritual experiences, I experienced a supra-rational reality that was more real than anything that I ever experienced in this life. So this here, this waking life that feels real to us, feels real to me, feels real to you, was nothing in comparison at all. This here, in comparison, would be like an old Nintendo game in 2D to what I experienced in those spiritual experiences. And there I experienced the unity of God. And I understood fully, not on a human level even, that my existence that I experience is predetermined by a pre-existing existence. Meaning that I couldn't exist without a ground of existence, without a source for existence. And that source of existence was free of time and space. Indeed, it generated time and space. That is God, that existence. This eternal generator, this conductor, if you will. I experienced it. I know it to be real, 100%. But again, this is not proof for anybody else. This is for me. This is why I'm so convinced, because I experienced it. 100%. But when it comes down to logical proof, you can go into the contingency argument of Ibn Sina, etc. There is no way for anything to exist without a pre-existing existence, so to speak. Scientifically speaking, something cannot come out of nothing. It's an impossibility anyways. That's why. So logically you can conclude as well that there must be a creative force behind it all. Anyways, thank you very much for the super chats, guys. Appreciate it. $10. Salam, brother, by Shad Lidia. I can't reread this. Salam, brother. Please react to this hilarious Dawa video. Christian shocks Muslim after he said this, by Orthodox Muslim 2.0. Okay, I will look that up. Mohammed, thank you very much for the 1,000 rupee. Appreciate it, bro. No question attached, though. Chabad, another 10 Schweizer Franken. Dankeschön. Bobby Daniel had a great take on the crying imam. And more positive, even though there are other things I don't agree with him on video, is called Daniel Chachikachu reacts to the infamous crying imam. Okay, we're going to watch that next then, after the hilarious Dawa video. 1 second. Video. Let me copy this. 1 second, guys. What the hell? One second, guys. I just have to copy this here. First, the Christian shocks Muslim after he said this. Orthodox Muslim 2.0. Ah, we were about to watch Josip Broz Tito as well. Okay. Many videos lined up now. Let me try to get through them all. Okay, this one's 20 minutes as well. Orthodox Muslim is doing good work, mashallah. Damn, that's loud, bro.
Truth in Telos Ministries. Sorry for keeping you waiting there, my friend. You're on. The stage is yours, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So you and I did have an interaction a couple of months ago, and it was interesting. Essentially, it came down to us not agreeing upon the semantic range of the Aramaic use of a word in Daniel 7. So then you, I guess, kind of were like, well, you're being dishonest.
On Pilach.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It was
Pilach,
like
Daniel 7. I don't remember who you are, but I probably had that conversation before. But yeah, the live is not about Daniel 7 today. It's about challenging Tawheed. Do you have an argument against Tawheed?
Well, yeah. I was just recapping, I guess, what our previous discussion was about.
No problem. Welcome back, sir. Stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks. So when you said that the challenge, it's about a challenge against what exactly? I just want to make sure I stay on topic.
The doctrine, the Islamic doctrine of God, the Orthodox doctrine of God.
Tawheed. Right. Well, yeah, so I suppose the Achilles heel of that would be the Trinity. If the Trinity is true, Islam cannot be true, right?
Sure, if the Trinity is true, then Islam wouldn't be true, if it is true, but we don't have any evidence for it being true.
Yeah, if the Trinity is true, Islam can be true, but do you have any arguments against the idea of Tawheed? Or you don't?
Well, yeah, I would say that Islam cannot have the correct orthodoxy of God because Islam distinguishes Christ as just a man and not God.
So the best argument against Tawheed is you don't believe that Christ is God.
Yeah, I would say that's a core foundational problem.
Wow, that's so easy debunkable, man.
Once you look at that, man. Is Tawheed really that powerful and logical and coherent that there is no argument against it? The best argument is, oh, well, you don't believe in Jesus. Really?
You did the same defeater as the previous guy, he said.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Yeah, well, Tawheed cannot be true because you don't believe in Krishna. Well, Tawheed cannot be true because you don't believe in Buddha.
Well,
like truth, let me tell you truth. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a couple facts of what we believe in, and hopefully you'll be able to, say, hey, this is wrong. If not, then you probably agree with us. You're probably going to be a Muslim.
If he doesn't have us, then I got the chickens ready.
Yeah, get them ready.
Yeah, we're actually going to get the chickens ready. That's
get them ready. Okay, truth. So
what's up with the chickens?
I'm going to give you 7 facts about our creed and what we believe in, and I want you to demonstrate if one of them you disagree with and tell us why. So we believe God is one person only, not 3. One God, one person, he's God alone. Secondly, he's above his throne spatially, meaning he's ontologically above it. He is above it, not metaphorically. Thirdly, God has properties that are not him.
That would be the Athari view, not the Ashari or Maturidi.
For example, God has a hand. God has 2 hands. God has eyes. God has a face. And we would assume, or we would actually affirm, that these properties are not him, but they are not separate from him. They're distinct. Okay? Fourthly, we can talk about God.
Wait, I didn't understand. So it says that those are his properties, but distinct? Let me hear it again.
We would assume, or we would actually affirm, that these properties are not him, but they are not separate from him. They're distinct. Okay?
So the properties like hands and eyes are not him, but they're distinct of him? I don't get this point. If Allah has a hand, then the hand is of course him. It's his. There would be no separation. I don't understand the argument.
Fourthly, we can talk about God sitting on his throne. Can you prove that's anthropomorphic? Can you prove that my God is anthropomorphic due to his properties? Sixthly,
and this is why I don't resonate really with this Athari view, because sitting on a throne, per definition, is anthropomorphic. If you really see it as a literal sitting on a throne.
God is up, and he's only up. He's fixedly up. He's not down, left, right. He's only up. Okay? And that's...
I disagree with this as well. If he's only up, then he is not beyond time and space.
That's all I'm going to give you.
Because this is a direction of space.
Do you disagree with anything that we just said? And if so, show us the problem.
We believe in an uncreated Quran too. Go ahead.
Uncreated Quran.
Thank you, Vienna. Well, I mean, the first point I don't have a problem with the Shema. God is one. Yeah, that's completely understandable. Everything else you brought up with, though, I don't see any basis for those, like ontological statements or those distinguishing factors of God anywhere. Maybe it's within your Quran, but I would say I highly disagree with them.
Sir, I just okay. Look, I want you to tell me why you disagree. Not because it has no basis. I want you to tell me, is there an actual logical problem or metaphysical issue? And with me saying that,
It's all right. He doesn't have an argument. All right, why is this not one chicken?
I like how you just got straight into it.
Yeah, let's just get he doesn't have it. So let's start with why is this not one chicken?
Why is not what one chicken? I'm not
the picture that you see on the screen. I see one chicken. Prove me wrong.
I don't see you sharing anything on this. Oh wait, you're talking about his profile picture?
No. You see, go on the StreamYard that we're on.
I'm on the StreamYard.
There's a
No, it's not a live debate. It's a video that we're watching now.
big picture of three chickens.
There's a big picture of 3 individuals.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah, 3 individuals, 1 chicken. Prove me wrong.
Well, I guess you'd have to look at how does each chicken function.
Yeah,
if they can do things independently.
So the chicken on the very left is the father chicken. The chicken on the very right is the son chicken, and the chicken in the middle is the mother chicken. So there is an ontological relationship between these individuals. There are 3 distinct individuals, 1 chicken, because they share one undivided chicken essence. Why is this wrong?
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard this argument before from Metaphysics Mike, but he used it with trees. So the issue is though is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to tie the nature, and you're using like a philosophical term of nature of a chicken.
It's not even that philosophical, because the thing is that Christians themselves will use this example. They will speak about a family unit, for example. They will speak about the father and the son and whatever, and then they're going to say they all have the shared human nature. But we're speaking about 3 people. But they will still use this as an example for the Trinity. So therefore, here, this chicken example is not far off at all. It's the same.
But
yeah, I'm saying there's exactly 1 chicken on the screen. Do you agree or disagree?
Yes. No, I would disagree. There's
Why?
3 chickens.
All right, why is it 3 and not 1?
Because each chicken can act independently or do independently of their own.
They're united will.
Well, no, that's just not how that works. And
No,
so
they're united in their act. They have one act.
right. You're making the claim of that, but the reality would be much different. So
But
it's
what difference would that make? What difference would that make if they're united in will or not?
What if they were dead?
It's just a fallacy is the problem. It's a logical fallacy that you're operating on.
What's the fallacy called?
What's the fallacy?
I wouldn't know the exact name of the fallacy, but it's definitely a fallacy.
All right,
Okay,
no problem.
Thank you for asserting a fallacy,
go ahead,
my
Vienna,
brother.
go
But hold on, I want to tell you something. Whether or not they're whether or not they're sharing the same will, sharing it's the same whatever, that's irrelevant so long as they're distinct. I'll give you an example. Let's say we have 2 balls. Okay, they have the same color. They're both purple. They're both the same shape, the same circumference, everything the same. They look the same, but the only way they're different is just one is to the and the other to the right. Even though they're common, they have a lot of common properties. They have a lot of things in common.
Yeah,
That's irrelevant because we still count 2 balls because they're distinct. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
No. We're saying, listen, prove this is not 1 chicken because there's 1 chicken essence.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is a fallacy, because there is absolutely zero basis upon which you could make the argument that they are one chicken. Just because I say so doesn't work.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? There's exactly 1 chicken essence, therefore 1 chicken.
But again, you saying because I say so doesn't work, right? Like that's the fallacy.
All right,
exactly what the Christians do.
We're all gonna make a new religion today. It's called chickenism. All right.
Okay.
Chickenism teaches, the prophet of chickenism teaches that there is exactly 1 chicken on the screen, and there's 1 chicken that claim is justified by the three individuals sharing one chicken essence.
Yep, and I hold to phenomenal conservatism.
And-
You have
and
to
if-
give me a defeater to my position. Okay.
Right. So
I'll justify
now,
and believe in this until you give
so,
me a defeater.
and remember, I asked you if I were to claim there's one chicken, would I be justified or not? You said no.
Right.
You said there are three chickens. I'm saying, why am I not justified in believing there's exactly one chicken on the screen?
Yeah, and you could make your own religion called chickenism that claims that, which is fine. That's what Islam did. Somebody created a religion and
Sir.
said things, right?
Sir, would I be justified
Yeah, Islam created a religion and said God is one.
believing there's one
Bad
chicken?
Islam.
Well, okay, so now justified in believing, absolutely. You can believe whatever you want. There really needs to be no justification of that.
Would I be correct?
There's no self-reflection in this man at all. He doesn't seem to get that this is exactly his belief. I hope they're going to show him the Trinity later.
No, that's where we get into the justification.
Good. All right, good. So I'm not correct that there is one chicken. You're saying you're correct that there are three chickens. I'm saying, why am I wrong? Why is there objectively three chickens and not one chicken as I am claiming?
Because we have to look at when we're talking about nature, again, we're not talking about ontologically, but how these chickens can verifiably within the realm of truth operate. You will be proven wrong every time.
Yeah, bro, you're
Sir, how does that prove there's not one chicken?
Because then what you're doing is, how can you prove that there is not multiple Muhammads?
What?
There is multiple Muhammads.
Okay,
Like you
You're
can't.
not
It becomes a fallacy.
Yo,
Tila, I think you're not tracking because the point is not about hold on. We're saying assume we follow chickenism. You know, the one holy church of chickenism. Now refute our belief.
Right. So again, because of what you can observe with a chicken.
He doesn't get it, man. He doesn't get it at all. This is what happens with your brain on Christianity. Yeah, but Jesus is Lord, and if you don't declare Jesus as Lord, then your religion is made up. It came 600 years after Jesus, didn't you know?
The three chickens observably are not one.
Wait. Okay, good. All right. So you said because you observed three of them, correct?
Yeah, we can observe that. Not even that. There's three of them, but that each one of them are not the one one essence.
And I'm saying,
oh my God,
I observed one of them. Why am I wrong?
The brain rot, man.
Again, because
Tell him now, please, why he is wrong. Why this is three chickens and not one. Can we hear it?
operating within the realm of truth and verifiability, you're just going to be proven wrong every time.
Okay, good, cool. I like that. All right, I like that. So now, bear with me right quick here. So you said you observe, right, because of some, objective counting method, or usual counting method, right? You're counting three in front of you, therefore it's three. Okay, no problem. I want you to do the same thing here. All right, go ahead. 1 second here. Let me just do it quick. How many gods do you observe here?
Oh my God. Finally, let's go, man. Now he's going to say one.
There?
Yes, how many gods do you observe?
Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm going to have to pull this back in here. Yeah, is that a representation of the Trinity?
Truth and Telos. How many gods do you observe?
Well, I don't observe any gods on that picture because it's just a picture.
Right, but the picture of the chickens was just a picture, but you said you observed three of them. Okay? What the hell? All right, so how many gods do you observe?
You're drawing a distinction. I don't know what I'm looking at. You'd have to...
You don't know. You have to be disingenuous. Simple. In order to defend the Trinity, you have to be disingenuous.
You would have to tell me what is this supposed to represent.
You're looking at Jesus, who's a God, the Father,
okay, so
who's
there's
a God,
Jesus.
and the Holy Spirit is a God. How many gods do you observe?
Yeah, no, there's only one.
So you're observing one God?
Correct, yeah, but this is, again, a picture.
Oh my God, man. This is so damn crazy. Look at this. Honestly, appeal to the Christians. You want to worship one God, don't you? Christians want to worship one God. Matter of fact, they get offended when you tell them that they're worshiping more than one God. They want to worship one God. So much so that when they see the depictions of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove, then they're going to still say, I only see one. Yeah, duh, because intuitively you want to worship one God. There's nothing cleaner, there's nothing better than worshiping God alone. So why can't you abstain from your damn polytheism and simply accept that you've been deluded and that you've been worshipping 3 separate entities as one God? Abstain from it, refrain from it, and simply worship God alone. That's all we're asking for. Oh my God, man.
So how many chickens do you observe?
Why?
So how many chickens do you observe now?
Let me see.
He has to double check. Let me see.
Did he just say, let me see?
Yeah, take his glasses.
Brother.
Yeah, sorry, I was having to switch back to the picture.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that's
how many chickens do you observe now?
20.
That is 3 chickens is the same.
And what did you do to observe 3 of them?
Oh my God.
Because what you're doing is you're taking the objective, or I guess I don't know what word I would use, but the frame of reference of there are 3 feathered animals there that we would identify.
Look what kind of mental gymnastics, man. How many chickens are there? You see 3 chickens. How many entities did you see in the other picture? 3.
As chickens.
Oh, okay. Now do the same thing to here. How many gods?
Right. So the
That's
representation of that picture is still going to be one God. Yes.
I'm not asking about. I said the picture has how many gods in it.
Yeah, what the picture is representing is one God.
I'm not asking that. I said
the picture. You are.
In the picture, how many?
The thing is this, you know, when I was a child, when I was still small and naive, I saw a picture like this in school. And I had no idea about the Trinity because they didn't really teach us that. The thing is though, I, from this depiction, assumed that this is God and that this is his son. This here I ignored, whatever that might be. Anyways, from this picture, anyways, but point of the story is from this picture, I thought this old grey bearded man here is supposed to be God. And then this here is supposed to be the son of God. Not necessarily in a biological sense, but in some sort of exalted way. Whatever, you see this from this picture. But no, Christians then told me that this is supposed to be, all of it here, supposed to be one God. However the hell that's supposed to work, man. Craziness, bro.
How many gods are there?
Yeah, there is one God.
Yeah,
the
that's
picture
one.
is
All right, so I observed
Oh
one
my
chicken.
God, this is
Prove me
crazy.
wrong.
Right. So again, when we look at this in an objective reality,
Yep.
you would be proven wrong every time.
Alright,
See,
when I-
your
when I-
problem,
when I-
here's the
when I look
fallacy.
at
In objective reality, you'll be proven wrong every time, and here you wouldn't, huh?
When I look at this in objective reality, I would count 3 gods.
No, so what you're doing though, and this is where the fallacy comes in, is that you are trying to
just claiming
dictate
a
what
fallacy.
it represents, right? So you're trying to.
You're just claiming a fallacy. So again, let's
Exactly.
ask you something. Okay, why is there 3 for the chickens, but why is there 1 in the picture?
Okay.
What is the fallacy?
Because
And 1 minute, hold on, please. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Watch out for something, because don't just assert that it's subjective and don't assert the other side is fallacious. Actually prove so, because we can flip it back around you and say you're being fallacious and we're being objective, which I believe is the case, but we're trying to demonstrate why.
Yep.
Correct, because what we're doing is we're looking at the intent of what the picture is showing. So, for all intents and purposes, you're right. The picture of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit could be showing 3 gods, right? The
I can't anymore.
intent of it is what you have to prove. If you're saying, well, it's
Yeah, but in Chickianity, yeah, in his other religion, his intent is as well that there is only one chicken, one essence. That's just a claim. That is not proof. That is just your opinion, man. And it's the same thing with here. If you wouldn't know about the Trinity, and I know that for a fact because when I saw this picture back in the day, I didn't know about the Trinity, then you simply see 3 figures. That's it. 2 human figures, 1 animal. That's what you see. 3.
showing one. Some people, hold on. Some people would claim that that picture of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is showing just God, because there's Unitarians out there.
No, how many? I'm asking you. How many gods do you observe?
Yeah, I just told you it is representative of one God.
And this picture is representative of 1 chicken. Prove me wrong.
Yeah,
Right,
dude.
Again, because you need to look at the intent. Now you could claim, well, yeah, it's actually one chicken, right? But then
Yeah.
that's where the burden of proof would be on the nature of how a chicken operates.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Then prove that the nature of your triune God is actually that he's only one in essence and the three persons are just that. How can you prove this? You can't.
There's one chicken nature. There's one chicken.
Okay, so again, the truth operating in a realm of truth, you will.
Yeah, exactly. They're literally asking, what do you see? It is basically like a test when somebody gets stopped, whatever, like because he was drunk driving or something, and now he has to say what he sees on this picture, what he sees on that picture. It's craziness, man.
Always be proven wrong on that, right?
All right, and if you say there's one God in the domain of truth, you'd always be proven wrong if you say there's one God.
Right. Okay. So that's where we now need to begin to bring in the evidence. I've got no problem
All right,
bringing
so
in
what-
the evidence.
All right, cool. What's the evidence that the Father, Son, Holy Spirit are one God and not three?
Oh, perfect. Okay. Now we're getting to so I just want to make sure you're agreeing that if the evidence can be shown, then it must be true. Therefore, Islam must be false, right?
Yeah. If there
If the evidence can be shown and the evidence is actually true, then sure.
is evidence that the
Okay.
Trinity is one God metaphysically, and by the way we usually count things, then Islam will be false. You're right.
Oh
man.
wow, this is great news.
Right?
Okay, so I'm
This is great news, guys. Let me take you away from the worship of one God and worship with me this year.
and it depends too on how you're going to take the argument, because from what I remember about
brother,
you,
just get to it, brother. Just get to it.
okay, I will. From what
Let's
I
hear it.
remember about you, I was actually very impressed because you agree that all scripture of the Bible is true, right? You don't believe that it got reinterpreted.
He never
by
said that. He never said that, sir.
Oh, I asked him that. No, hold on a
No,
second,
he
bro.
never said that.
I had a question. No, listen. You were not there with the last interaction I had with him.
I do not believe that all of your pagan books are true.
Okay, so that's interesting because
you have to
I
understand
think
one thing. Don't appeal.
I think that
don't-
the letters
no.
of Paul are not, but yeah, Vienna, you're right. That has nothing to do with anything. You need to prove
Okay.
that there.
Let's
You
say,
have-
let's
you
say
need
the
to-
Old
Hold on,
Testament.
hold
let's
on,
say
hold
the
on
Old
then. We will.
Tell us. Look, let's say the Old Testament, New Testament said God is three repeatedly, start to finish, from Deuteronomy up until Revelations. Let's say that was the case. That's irrelevant. You know why? Because again, I can grant that, but again, we're trying to see how we usually count things. That is the point.
No, that's what is he saying there? The point of the story is that even if the Bible would say, listen, in the Bible it states, God is three in one, God is a Trinity, which it doesn't, but let's say it does. Even then, the proof must be there that this is revelation from God. If you don't have any proof that this is revelation from God, then it doesn't matter, because you have all kinds of things in religious texts. Hinduism, Buddhism, etc., etc. You don't have to accept it as true if you can't confirm that this is revelation from God in the first place. That's the whole point. Because otherwise I can write a book and I'm going to call it Revelation from God. And then I'm going to write in there whatever I choose to. And then you have to say, well, it's in that book. It says revelation of God, therefore it must be true. No, of course not. And this is why, even if the Bible would say Trinity, three in one, blah, 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 prove it.
I understand.
My phone just died.
So the whole point though of trying to prove, right, show the proof of my claim is that if you don't believe in the letters of Paul, fine. I want to go to the Old Testament.
It's fine. It's brother. The Old Testament teaches the Trinity. All right. Now, how is that one God?
Because that's what the Trinity claims. So you agree the Old Testament teaches.
Yeah, it was crystal clear it's going to be a circular argument. It is what it is because that's what it claims. Okay, we claim that there is one chicken, therefore it must be true.
So how does that claim justified that it's one God?
Yeah.
Well, because do you believe the words that are written of the Old Testament?
Oh my God, brother, are you brain dead, dude? I just said if we could grant that the Bible teaches the Trinity. Now, how does that make it one God in reality?
Because that's the claim of the Trinity. So if you agree with that, then
I am contending that claim, and I'm asking you to justify it.
Again, circular argument. It is that because that's the claim. Okay, our claim is Tawhid, oneness of God, therefore it must be true. You claim Trinity, therefore it must be true. The Hindu religion claims 1,000 avatars, therefore it must be true. Okay.
let's run something intuitive. Okay, listen, look, we have Bob, Mark, Marley. Okay, they're both kings and they're not each other. Therefore, we have three kings. Now switch Bob, Mark, Marley with Father, Son, Spirit, and King with God. Switch the variables. You have three kings the same way you have three gods. What's the symmetry breaker?
I'm sorry, I don't track what you were just trying to.
I'll tell you, brother. I'll tell you exactly what he said.
Yeah, it was just not. It didn't. It was very nonsensical, I guess, is what I'm trying to
No,
say.
it was very
no, hold on,
sensible.
he's trying to-
I
no,
understood it.
no.
Go ahead,
Hold
go
on,
ahead.
let me speak to him. Nonsensical. راح أوريك. Now listen, look, we have Bob, Mark, Marley. Okay, don't laugh because I'm not trying to laugh. We have
Bob,
Mark,
Marley.
Okay, wonderful people. They're actually kings. You know, they're bright people. They became kings. Now, Bob, Mark, Marley here, when we ask them, okay, you guys are kings. That is true of them. But they're not each other. They're different people. Bob, Mark, Marley are different people, and they're all kings. So we count them as three kings. Now switch king with God, and switch Bob with Son, switch Mark with Father, switch Spirit with Marley. The same way we get Bob, Mark, Marley to be not each other, but three different kings. Thus, three kings. We get Father, Son, Spirit to be not each other. Therefore, three different gods.
Right.
Symmetry breaker.
Yeah. No. You could make that claim. Absolutely. Anybody can claim anything. So I have no problem with you making that.
Breaker. I'm
Yeah.
asking you for the
Oh my
symmetry
god.
The
Oh my
symmetry
god.
breaker.
No, it's not kindergarten arguments. There are no arguments. There are no arguments at all. It's completely ridiculous. This damn guy, over and over again, he says, well, it is so because that's the claim of the Trinity. So why would you have to accept it now? Is the guy Greek? Potentially. Whatever. It's completely brain dead. It doesn't make any sense. You can claim whatever. I'm claiming as an atheist, there is no God. I'm claiming as a Hindu, there are 1,000 gods. I'm claiming as a Buddhist, there is only existence. Whatever. Why is that claim true now? And the Muslims here, they already accepted, okay, fine, let's just say it says that in the Bible, fine. How do we count one God if we have that Trinity claim? He can't even go into the Trinity claim. That's what happens with your brain on Christianity. It's terrible, dude. Oh my god, man. Oh. Anyways, yeah. This really wasn't that much fun, guys. Again. It's crazy. They're presented with something so apparent, so obvious. You just see it there. Three persons. If you want to stick with it, then call it your three persons and that's it. But still, they're three entities. How do you then say that this is one God? How does it work? Any explanation? Nobody has one. Unbelievable, man. But you cannot talk to those people. There's so much pride in their ideology. They will never get out of it. Yeah, of course, three gods and khalas. What else? There's nothing else. There's nothing else in the argument. It's three gods. Done deal. Subhanallah, man. Craziness. I really spoke to Christians and you just get crazy talking to them. Because they themselves don't even understand what they're believing. But they're going to believe it. And they're going to defend it. Until death. Even though they don't get it. Speak to Orthodox Christians even. They will tell you that it's an eternal mystery and nobody can truly explain it. Then they will throw terms at you. Oh, well, it's the hypostatic union. Yeah, what does that mean, hypostatic union? Hypostatic union means the merging or the fusion or whatever of man and God. That's the hypostatic union. Okay, fully man, fully God. Great. But then God humbled himself to be human, and sometimes he doesn't have his godly faculties. Yeah, then he's not fully God and not fully human. It's completely impossible. It's a contradiction, of course, and we all know it. Well, no, this is where time and space collapses in Christ Jesus. That's Greek mythology, man. That's what that is. Nothing more and nothing less. If you want to believe it, go for it. But you don't even understand what it is. You don't understand what it means. And your church fathers don't either. Nobody does. Nobody understands how this Trinity works. Nobody gets it. It's an eternal mystery. Okay, good. The thing is this. If we would have proof for any texts that come from Jesus himself, let's say, where he says, hey, listen guys, worship me, worship the Trinity, don't just pray to the Father as I'm teaching you here, pray to the triune God, and this is it. Then I would say, okay, I guess it's revelation and we don't really get it, but we're going to accept it because it is wahi, it is revelation. But they don't have it. None of it. None of it is there. So I'm not saying that early Christians, some of them, didn't start to see Jesus as extremely exalted. And then you had this development where they might have even seen him as a lesser God in a way. Potentially. But the Trinity as such was a later development. That's just what it is. And that is something that you can historically prove. You can look into the councils and the development of Christianity. There is no mentioning of a Trinity in the earliest followers of Christ. James never spoke about a Trinity. James never spoke of Jesus being God. So how can that be then? How can that be then? There is no proof, no evidence, zero. And now they're going to stick there, but you have to accept that Jesus is Lord, and it's a Trinity because it says it's a Trinity. And that's how low IQ this is. It's crazy. It's a sickness of the mind. And then he shows them that 3 chickens. Yeah, well, that is 3, don't you see? Yeah, and that here is 3 too. No, that's actually 1 God. Whatever, bro. Whatever. Alhamdulillah, I'm not in this brain rot anymore, man. This is how I felt, you know? Because for me, it was crystal clear that God is one anyways. And then the last year of Christianity, predominantly, I was just going nuts. Because everybody around me was telling me that this is what I should believe. And I already saw it exactly this way. I was like, what are you talking about, man? How can I believe this? Yeah, no, but it's the triune God. Glory to the triune God. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? What are you telling me here? Yeah, Jesus is Lord, don't you understand? And the Holy Spirit. And I was like, bro, I need to read something else, apparently. Like, this doesn't go anywhere. Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Dawa Trucker. Appreciate it, brother. Surah is Zukhruf, verse 83. So leave them alone to speak nonsense and play until they meet the day of theirs, which they have been promised. Subhanallah. Perfectly said. See, I could ramble till tomorrow, but Allah said it best, obviously. That's really what it is. Let them just talk and ramble and go crazy in their delusions, and then, inshallah, one day they will see. They will see what they've been talking about, man. It's absolute madness. Total insanity. Subhanallah. Amazing, yeah. Of course, if Christ is fully man and fully God, the way that they describe it, you always have an absolute contradiction, a walking contradiction, because Jesus doesn't know everything. And God is all-knowing. You cannot be fully God. If this was a matrix, for example, yeah, God created this matrix, and now he creates an avatar. And this is basically the claim of Hinduism as well. It's avatar theory. There are avatars, and then God can enter into an avatar. Okay, good. And then he enters into this avatar of Jesus, but he is fully all-knowing, man. He knows everything because he's God. God is operating with a human body. He chose to incarnate. Okay, then he's fully God in that moment. And fully man. That's how they describe him. But it doesn't add up because he doesn't know. Yeah, well, now he's taking his human side. No. He's praying to himself over and over again, right? Nonsense, man. Craziness. 1 second. Yeah, this one I showed last time as well. It's my favorite. And I'm really not doing this to mock. If it comes across like that, well, then so be it. I'm doing this to point out the ridiculousness for people to understand. Here, allegedly Jesus praying, "Are you there, Dad? It's me. You." Exactly right. Exactly right. Who is he praying to, man? If he's praying to himself, then it's all fake. Do you understand? Then it's fake. It's even worse. People will say, well, Jesus prayed in order to show us how to pray as humans, then it's a fake prayer because he didn't really pray. He prayed to himself. He prayed to himself, so it was fake. It was a fake demonstration. Do you understand? Because there is nobody else. And then they're going to say, well, but he's the Son and he's praying to the Father. Okay, so can I address the persons separately then? Can I just pray to the Father then? Or am I praying only to a third of God then? Who do I address? Oh, Holy Trinity? Is this what I say? Come on, guys, man. What the hell, bro? I really don't understand. Yeah, inshallah I will. Let me download the image. Here we go. Okay, I'll post it later. Good idea. It's so crazy, man. Anyways, okay. There was something else that we want to watch. And after that I'm going to tune out, guys, because already 1 a.m. here. 1:15 to be honest. So it's about time to sleep. Very soon. Oh, the Yossi Bros, man. Brother, thanks for the super chat, but the Yossi Bros, now Yugoslav topic here is not really for the stream, man. It's too long. Nah, it's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna react to videos anymore. For now. I'm gonna tune out very, very soon. It's too late, guys. It has been already over 2 hours, I believe. I have to sleep soon. I'm gonna hang back 5 more minutes. Yeah, it's a tough topic. Now to go into Yugoslavia, I don't have the brain for it right now, man. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm gonna hang around 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm tuning out. Inshallah. So you know. You've been warned. Ich spreche Deutsch. I've been at it 3 hours. Damn. I just want to do 2 hours today. Okay, 5 more minutes, guys. Then I'm tuning out. So if you have any questions, just shoot them in the chat right now. And then after that, I'm out. Dawa Trucker, thank you so much for the ongoing support, brother. And as I said, we really should do a live stream together, man. It was fun last time. Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 22. Had there been therein, in the heavens and the earth, gods besides Allah, then verily both would have been ruined. Glorified be Allah, the Lord of the throne, above what they attribute to Him. Let's read it again. Had there be therein gods besides Allah, then verily both would have been ruined. Glorified be Allah, the Lord of the throne, above what they attribute to Him. I don't know if it is about that verse, but I remember somebody giving a further explanation about a specific verse that sounded similar. I'm trying to remember, but I can't right now. But it was about the argument that if there are more gods, then they would ultimately fight each other. And if they would be really both gods, then they would have to be equally strong. It doesn't work any other way. And they would be eternally battling each other, etc. Right? So, yeah, they would be ruined. I think you can say that as well. It's a complete impossibility from any standpoint. Again, even if you are an atheist, I say, an agnostic, and you look at it, you look at the argument for God, the only rational conclusion that you can come to, even if you remove religion completely, would be to say, okay, there must be one creative force then. A starting point, an origin. That makes sense. But that could be only one source. It can be 3, it can be 4, etc. That's already mutually exclusive. They would compete against each other. Who was there first? Because every time you have something more than one, there must be something prior to it, prior to it, prior to it, etc. So it's never ending. It's infinite regress yet again. Anyways, we had a question here. Thank you, Bobby. You motivated me to just work out today before and also strengthened my iman. I'm officially studying Islam and learning Arabic, mashallah, which is half my family's language. They should have just... It doesn't go any further. But hey, alhamdulillah, I'm happy to hear this. Amazing. See, somebody just went into action and simply worked out. That is good. Simple steps, dude. Just get yourself into action. Very important. Very good. I'm proud of you. Yeah, exactly. He was 100% human and 100% divine, Bobby. Don't you understand? Exactly. Like, how can you not understand this, right? Divinity and mortality being mutually exclusive. How can't you not understand? That's crazy, man. Question by Haha. How do you stay strong through tough times? It's very impressive to someone weak like me. Why are you weak? Why are you weak? And why do you think of yourself as weak? Like, how can you have such a self-talk? That is totally alien to me. I never thought like this. It's unbelievable. I remember this talk with a very good friend of mine back in the day. I was maybe my late teens, maybe early 20s. And he was always very negative during that time. And he asked me, how do you always stay so positive and you think of yourself like you're the best? And and you're like the strongest. And I was like, yeah, why would I think about myself in any other way? Of course, you get older, you learn. Sure, there's always somebody that is stronger than you. There's always somebody that is smarter than you. You have to have some sort of humility. Duh. It's not about being arrogant. But I'm gonna refuse to think of myself in negative ways. I'm gonna refuse. If I have thoughts like that pop up, I'm just ignoring them and then I'm gonna feed myself something better. I'm not gonna think myself as like weakling, as a pathetic person. Why would I do that? If I feel weak, then I lift weights to feel stronger. If I feel weak, then I do martial arts to get stronger. I don't understand it, man. Like, this is already your first problem. How do you stay strong? It's very impressive to someone weak like me. Why are you weak? How are you weak? Did your mother and your father, they created you weak? Did you stop development when you were a baby? How are you weak? Why are you weak? And why don't you change it then? Where are you weak? Mentally weak? Physically weak? What are we talking about? How can you think like this of yourself? It's so self-defeating. How do you go through life thinking of yourself, oh, I'm so weak? Huh? I feel weak as well because I know there's stronger people than me. And then I work on that weakness in that sense. But I don't think of myself as somebody weak. You have not even an iota of an idea what I've been going through the past year. I talked about it in my private Telegram group through the gate. Only with those people I shared it, with nobody else. I think, especially after what I'm seeing here and worldwide, to be honest, most people, they would have offed themselves after what happened to me the past year. Craziness, what happened. But still, I'm not seeing it that way. I'm not seeing that, oh, poor me, look what happened to me. Yeah, life happened. Happens to all of us. Again, look at the brothers and sisters in Gaza. Look what happens to them. It's life. It's life. You're taking this stuff way too serious, man. Honestly, the way that I see life is like a video game. I really do. So when I'm playing a video game, for example, which I don't do nowadays at all, but well, if I would, let's say back in the day, GTA. And now I'm playing GTA. And now a character gets shot. I just keep on playing. I'm not gonna think, oh my god, that's so sad. Why did it happen? It's life. It's a game. Because it's gonna be over at some point. It's temporary. Who cares? Stuff happens all the time. Who cares? Who cares? People die, people leave you, all kinds of things happen. Sickness, disease. Dude, I had it all. In the last year, 2025, I had it all. I cannot talk about it publicly here. I had it all. Honestly, talk about people dying, people leaving, sicknesses, whatever. All. Every metric. Betrayal of the finest order. Everything. I had it all than last year. And so what? Came out even stronger. Even stronger now. My life is even better. Alhamdulillah. I'm sitting in my new place here, overlooking the skyline of Bangkok. Beautiful. Perfect. What the hell, man? I don't understand this weakness. Anyways. I really don't understand. You know, maybe it is due to me back in the day doing bodybuilding as a teenager. We had the slogans, how was it again? Pain. Pain is weakness leaving your body. Yeah. That's it, bro. Pain is weakness leaving your body. Let's go. I love pain. So, that's just what it is. I love it. I love pain. I love to suffer. Bring it on. With one thing I agree in Buddhism, Buddha said life is suffering. I love it. Life is suffering. Let's go. More suffering. Give me more. I want to eat suffering. Amazing. It's the best. What else do you want? You want to be soft? So gay. People always complain, oh, the problem of evil. The problem of evil. Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem? For who? For the weak. The Arnold accent. Get down. Get down again. Allah, get to the chopper. Anyways, now really I find it ridiculous, man. For me, it's really fun to experience this life. And of course, we don't want to suffer in a way. But yeah, you have to bring on some suffering. Otherwise, there's no progress with anything. So I don't understand why people shy away from it. I really don't get it. You don't want to take, like, especially if you're in your 20s. You're in your 20s, bro. You don't want to take a weight that's just crushing you and you want to press it off you to see that you're alive. You don't want to fight another man to see that you're alive. You don't want that. You don't want to bleed, lick your blood off your face. Like, you don't want to experience that. That's the best. You don't want to wrestle, do jiu-jitsu, something until your ears break. I do. I just don't understand how people don't want that. So what else do you want to do? It's crazy to me. Whatever. Sit on the couch then, I guess. I'm so weak. How do you go through tough times? How do you go to fucking pathetic times, not doing anything? Oh my god, man. It's crazy. The Baker Libiano has good videos on Allah and his attributes if it's confusing. Okay, inshallah, we're gonna check that out another time though. As I said, I'm gonna stick back 5 minutes now. It has been already 7. Midlife crisis Bobby needs a fast car, for sure, bro. That comes next. Yeah, but it's really the case. I mean, even when I was in my 20s, I was riding the race bike. I had a Suzuki GSX-R. Amazing. Beautiful. I was living in Germany as well. 300 kilometers an hour on the highway, on the Autobahn. Bow. Yes. Feeling alive. What else is there? And I still have it. Now in my mid-30s, I still have it. Of course. Maybe when I'm 45 or so, it's gonna taper down, I guess. But what else is there to do? I just don't understand it, man. Strange. Really strange. I don't understand people that think of themselves as weak. Or the worst of all are the people that tell me, yeah, well, I don't really know what I want. What the hell? You don't know what you want. Everybody knows what they want in life. They might be afraid that they won't get it, but everybody knows what they want. Like when you tell me you don't know what you want, pathetic excuse. It's so crazy. There was one more super chat. Okay, thank you guys. Let me check. If anything, honestly, never talk down on yourself. As we spoke about in the beginning, you are a creature of habit, and therefore it's habit forming as well, no matter what you do. And when you talk down on yourself, you're going to form the habit of talking down on yourself as well. So never do that. Never do that. Because you're going to be the guy that just thinks of himself, oh, I'm so weak. And then one day you're going to be old and really weak. And then you're going to suffer. I don't think I missed the super chat. I'm looking through them. Now here. By Chabad, thank you very much, bro. He says, the Trinity is schizophrenic incest. And brother, have a blessed long sleep, Bruder. Danke dir, Bruder. Ich muss echt mal langsam schlafen. Yeah, of course. At best. I mean, if you really believe in the Trinity, then you have to believe that a father, which is a male figure, birthed a son, and now he loves him eternally. Doot-de-doo. Okay. Thank you very much, brother. Jazakallah khair. Okay, guys. Anyways, I am tuning out. It has been a long stream, longer than expected again. Thank you very much for everybody that tuned in. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I just read it out. Thank you very much for everybody that tuned in. Inshallah, more to come. As I stated, very soon stream with Angel from the Three Muslims and Sonny. Faz, still. This guy is super busy, but hey, kudos to him, man. He's always into a new endeavor. Now he has a clipping agency last time I talked to him. This brother is busy, mashallah. Very, very nice. Anyways, inshallah, with him we're going to talk soon too. Everybody, until then, may God bless you all. Much love and peace.
يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي إن العطاء إمداده متنوع إن العطاء إمداده متنوع يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا. وكم في الركب من متضلع حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا. وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع أصل الجود من ذا المنبع. يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي. يا رب يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع. فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه. إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع. وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع. فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي. إن العطاء إمداده متنوع. إن العطاء إمداده متنوع. يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع. وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا. وكم في الركب من متضلع حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا. وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع أصل الجود من ذا المنبع. يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي. يا رب يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع. فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه. إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع. وإذا بدا من ناطق